And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the KFC, the Kung Fu Cup number 5 StarCraft Evolution Edition. Whew, your bi-weekly dose of StarCraft Evolution content. Here we go. We were just live a couple of days ago catching up with the 4th edition. Now we're here with the 5th. I'm of course just live VIP. With me I'm joined by these amazing players of the Who Stats and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to the final catch-up stream of Kung Fu Cup. In a way. For those that are curious, this week, this is a Wednesday, every Wednesday there is a Kung Fu Cup. This week's Wednesday edition of Kung Fu Cup was actually a Warcraft 3 edition, Warcraft 3 Evolution, not StarCraft Evolution. So we do have to catch up on that. We're going to be catching up on that next week. But this is the final catch-up stream of the StarCraft Evolution editions of KFC. Oh boy, here we go. For those that are curious, these are matches that played out last week. At the time, we were otherwise preoccupied covering another event, covering the Rex March Madness. The Rex March Madness was, of course, also on Wednesdays, also overlapping with Kung Fu Cup, so we weren't able to cover both at the same time. Instead, we did prioritize Rex March Madness. Now we're catching up on some KFC instead. Whew, we're here, we are ready. And we have our first round. For those that are just now tuning in, we always have some people maybe stumbling upon this for the first time and curious as to what is going on. Why are there Dragoons? Why are there Firebats? Why are there Corsairs and Valkyries? What's happening? Oh my god. Well, this is StarCraft Evolution. This is a mod. This is a mod in StarCraft 2. The mod does actually bring together Brood War and StarCraft 2 and make them face off against each other. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of passion, a lot of love, a lot of effort put into the StarCraft Evolution mod, and again, it is all designed to port over not just brutal units and brutal mechanics, but also to balance them with SE2 as well. That's why there are a lot of regular patches to make sure if there ever is like a strategy that's a little bit too good or too strong, they are tempering that or increasing it in a way to make things as balanced as possible between Brood War and SE2. So again, very actively being patched. Currently, I believe we're getting patches basically monthly. Like we're getting basically like monthly, sometimes even more regular than that. But like typically like every like 3-ish weeks, we do see like another patch, another balance patch, I should say, more like unit model updates, as well as they slowly incorporate new unit models as well. It's amazing, it's beautiful. Again, all the support for the balancing and all support for the mod is done via Patreon as well. So there's a Patreon page to help fund the mod itself, and again, there's a lot of work put behind it as well. So much love to those working behind the scenes. Likewise, not just work on the mod, not just work on the balance, but also work on the maps as well. There are a lot of map makers that are dedicated to porting brutal maps into StarCraft Evolution. We featured that a couple of days ago, seeing Blue Shift for the first time. We saw, so that was yesterday, I should say. We saw Blue Shift. I know, sorry, not Blue Shift, that's the SE2 map. Blue Storm, so my mistake. Blue Storm is the brutal map that they ported over and will soon be added, I believe, to the SCL map pool. So I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot. The nostalgia for Blue Storm is real, so I'm looking forward to it. Likewise, I believe they're porting over Blue Storm and another map. I think there's two maps that right, it's like Red R or R Faction or R something. But yeah, another map is going to be ported over as well. And again, that's a lot of work being put into trying to adapt and trying to kind of emulate like the Brood War aesthetic into SC2 and add all the features and again make it as comparable as possible. So yeah, there's a lot of work, and honestly, when it comes to casting, when it comes to covering the events, it's been a lot of fun. It's been very refreshing as well. I still prefer StarCraft 2. That's still, you know, what I'm here for, and that's what we mainly cover here on the CranKy Ducklings. But at this point, I would say like maybe a quarter, if not almost up to a third, but I would say like a quarter of the broadcasts have now been dedicated to StarCraft Evolution, and it has been a lot of fun, and it's always a treat to see some of these SE2 players jump into it and also embrace and indulge and enjoy it as well. Speaking of, we have them here. Our first match of the broadcast is going to be a ZVT between Dark and Bratok. Let us go. Dark, of course, he did. This was last week. This was just before the show match. So we did host the farewell show match of Dark. But we did actually find out yesterday that Dark did play in the Supers show match over the weekend. So there was still that to go on, and we'll see when and where we get more of Dark in the upcoming future. We're getting him as much as we can while we can, Pappy. Let's go. So we're jumping into our first series. Our first matchup. Let's go. Oh, also, yep, this shouldn't be a surprise. I should fix up the overlays here because Dark is not playing random. Dark is not playing Zerg. Dark is playing random instead. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Red Terran player. The Red Terran representing Team Starcom. It is Bratok. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the random player rolling Protoss, the brutal Protoss himself. It is, from South Korea, Dark. Oh, we're cheesing it up. This is bold. This is crazy, considering that Bratok doesn't know what he's playing against. He doesn't know what race Dark is. Despite that, he doesn't care. He sends out one, he sends out a second SCV, he sends out a third SCV as well. We're going for a proxy 3 racks. No gases back at home. Mass Marine bunker rush out of Bratok. And we'll see how this compares to Dark. This is a build that is very, very much viable against Zerg, 100%. Against Protoss, you don't really see this, so I'm curious how this unfolds and how they compare and how Dark reacts, and when and if he scouts, as Dark has not probe scouted. Oh boy, that's the first big concern here is lack of probe scout out of Dark. So Dark, he won't know that Rax is missing. He won't know to check for a proxy. He doesn't know that he's in danger right now. Uh-oh. R point, that's it, that's it. Yeah, no blue shift, blue storm. R point, that's it, that's it. I knew it was R something. Yo, shout out to Avex, big shout out. Teasing die, yeah. But again, as a reminder, Dark, he did roll random. Again, especially because Dark is kind of winding down when it comes to his professional career. He has been playing a little more random, especially in StarCraft Evolution. A little more off-racing from the side of Dark. We even saw that yesterday, oh sorry, 2 days ago, when Dark did play Terran against SC Boy. Here we go. But Athok does move forward with that initial SV. Again, Marines are amassing. Sorry, I thought it was going to be just 3 racks, but it's going to be up to 4. Ay, ay, ay. 4 racks is on the way. The SV does get the timing of the starport, sorry, of the Nexus, I meant to say, was of course a Gate Cyber Expand, or sorry, Gate Expand Cybercore out of Dark. Dark, now he scouts a bit of a later probe scout. Now he knows, hold up, something is wrong. No gases. He sees no gases, he sees no racks. Now he knows 100% that it is going to be proxy raxes, and we'll see how he responds. There we go, shield battery in the main mineral line. We have the gateway on the way. Dark should be ready to cancel. That Nexus will not help. The minerals will assist though when it comes to trying to throw down static defense, and the Marines have arrived. Dark, he's going to pull the boys. We'll see if he can buy some time. The Dragoon is almost done. Dragoon is all the way. There we go. Second shield battery gets thrown down behind the mineral line. So far, the first shield battery putting in a lot of work. There we go. More shield batteries on the way. Marines are trying to focus on some of the probes, but again, the shield battery putting in a lot of work here. One probe finally goes down. Just the one worker so far. Now going for the pylon. And the bunker's a little bit too far back here. The Marines not really being assisted by it. There we go. Now we have a backup bunker being thrown down next to the mineral line. That's going to be how many 2 Marines going down so far. The boys, where they being killed? Let's go. Oh, the boys are going for a dive. They will try to deny the bunker. They buy more time. Shield batteries are done. And Dark, the shield batteries are done. The Dragoons, they stand their ground. They deny the bunker. They go head to head here with the Marines. Shield batteries are about to run out of energy. They're about to run out. Gee, they have so much energy. Oh my god. I'm not used to seeing shield batteries last this long. And with that, Dark, he's holding. He did cancel the Nexus, again for those excess minerals, did lose 7 probes. He's holding the line, meanwhile the Marine kind of still looking quite solid here. I say that 2 more Marines go down, start stepping in, gets 1 probe. Yeah, getting more worker kills, not bad, getting up to 9 probes. But now we're up to 3 Dragoons, soon to be 4, soon to be 5 Dragoons. And Dragoon range is almost done. So just a really cool, calm and collected defense here from Dark. He didn't overreact, didn't over-respond. He pulled the boys like once to deny the bunker, but that's it. Once the bunker was denied, I mean, he's safe. And once range finishes, he can deal with the bunker. Oh, the boys! the boys are here. The boys have been pulled. It's all or nothing for Barato. He does get us around. Nicely done. Gets one Dragoon. Does around 1. The others, they kite back. There's still that backup shield battery in the mineral line. Yeah, putting in a lot of work. Boys are being pulled as well. They actually get pulled away. That's a lot of Marines. Oh my god. It's going to be 14 Marines here for Brathok. He's going for the Dragoons. They're trapped. They cannot kite back. Not anymore. Oh, but they get surrounded. 1 Dragoon goes down. Another shield battery just in time. And with that, yeah, Dark, he holds. Dark, he holds. He will lose maybe 1 more Dragoon. Not even. Yeah, they kite back. The shield batteries, they put in so much work. And with that, that's it. That's everything that Brathok had remaining. And again, remember, we have Dragoon range. He doesn't even care, just stutter steps in. GG gets called, and Dark will hold, will survive, and will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, really nice defense there by Dark. Of course, buying time for Dragoon range. More importantly, buying time for his second gateway, for the extra shield batteries as well. There were some really key and critical moments when Dark did pull the boys to make sure those shield batteries finished. And those shield batteries, they put in a lot of work there. It was insane. It was intense. I think in the end, we had like 5 shield batteries, like 4 to 5 in the main base of Dark. Didn't lose any of them. Did lose some probes, but again, he could afford to lose them as his opponent was completely all in. And Dark did preserve his mineral line. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he pulls off the defense, and now we are jumping into game numero 2. Let's go. Now we'll see if Brathok can bring it back. Once again, Dark is playing random. Brathok is playing Terran. And I believe Brathok is committing and is switching into SC or into Brood War Terran. Yeah, as I have to, of course, switch roles. As a reminder, typically in most StarCraft Evolution tournaments, it is loser's pick, but here in KungFu Cup, they are forced to switch from game to game. So in the bottom left-hand corner, we have not the SE2 Terran, but now the Brood War Terran player. For Team Starcom, it is Bratok. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, moving out across the map real fast and real quick, we have the SC2 Protoss player. As a reminder, he is random. He landed on Protoss from South Korea. It is Dark. It's important to point that out just because Bratok does not know what he's playing against. I mean, it could be Zerg, it could be Terran, could be Protoss. Bratok has no idea, and Dark opens up with his own cheese, with his own proxy. How the turns have tabled. Let's go, Poppy, let's go. The turns have tabled. You cheese me, I cheese you. I'll show you how it's done, Poppy. Oh my god. So the gateways have been placed, or the gateways are going to be placed here. As a reminder, Dark, he's got one gate at home, one across the map. So this is not an all-in. I should emphasize that. Not an all-in. The way this typically works is that the initial proxy gate is going to be a zealot. Sorry, I should say the initial gateway at home is going to be the zealots, and usually we do reinforce with adepts, with stalkers, assuming we have the cyber core behind this. This is all going to slowly come together here to try to overwhelm and punish Bratok. We do see the probe scout into the main base. It's going to be a single gas opener. We have our initial Raxes. I believe 2 Rax. Oh, never mind. I was going to say extra Raxes are typically more standard here, but no, it's going to be Rax into factory from Bratok. Meanwhile, Bratok does scout the cyber core. The gateways are finishing up. Usually I was gonna say usually you make adepts back at home to shade across the map even faster to reinforce, but this wasn't an economic opener out of Bratok, so I'm curious to see how Dark brings this all together. We have the initial zealots being chronoed as we speak. Cybercore still not yet done. We have the E-ray block here on the low ground, being as annoying as possible. So Bio army is building up. Now, this is going to be a later expansion out of Bratok, so ideally for Dark Bratok, he throws down a CC on location, and then Dark can come in and force a cancel. That would be the ideal. Stalker on the way out of Dark. Okay, interesting. Get into his Stalker follow-ups. Again, typically it would be Stalker across the map and Adept. Sorry, I should say Stalker being proxied and Adept from back home. But this is going to be a bit of a different variation here out of Dark. Yeah, there we go. Bratok, he is now going for that later expansion, but he runs into the Gateway Army. Expansion is delayed. We have Spider Mines on the way from Bratok. He's getting into mech. Little boys are being pulled. Vulture has arrived. The Vulture can shut this down. Just has to wait for the Spider Mines. Just has to wait. More Stalkers are arriving. I mean, true. I mean, this is the big thing. The big difference here between Brutal Terran and SC2 Terran is that there is no wall. Oh my god! A bit of an extension. Does move command in. So a lot of hits on that Stalker. But last Marines are going down. More boys being pulled. It does get another Marine. Dark, he's not done. He's just going to keep on pushing the Marine count. It's not really there. Down to 2 Marines, down to 1. 1 Marine left. The Vulture doing what it can. Spider-Mine is almost done. Show us the mines. Oh. Spider-Mine is placed. Oh my god, Massive Connection takes down 2. Oh my god. Takes down 2 Stalkers. Dark takes the mine to the face. And Bratok, he's holding. Bratok, he's holding on. Throws out more Spider Mines. Tank moves in. Across the map, the eBay finally gets cancelled. Thankfully, it was a cancel, not a kill. Dark expands. And we have a game. Whew. We do have a game here. Bratok, he defends back at home. But what I will say is the CC is delayed. So delayed command center here for Bratok. Now getting into extra factories. 2nd and 3rd factory on the way into Massive Vulture. We have ion thrusters in production as well for Vulture speed. Oh. As yeah, Bratok, he will clean this up. We'll trade out a Vulture for a Stalker. But overall does maintain himself. And we can get into a back and forth. Dark going to be opening up Stargate as his tech of choice. Very interesting. Going to be a Stargate follow-up. With this, of course, we can harass with Oracles. Considering the opener as well, I have a question for you. Where's the anti-air? What shoots up? The answer is nothing. All the Marines were killed. Remember, all the Marines were killed. Right now, there's no Goliaths because, I mean, there's no need for that. Bratok's now moving out, and it is so crucial that the Bratok scouts. He needs to scout, he needs to figure out what's going on. Does dive past the stalkers. Oh, denied entry into the main. He is denied, he sees nothing. That was his moment, and he does not know that the Oracle's coming. Second Stargate, Mass Oracle? Wait, Mass Void Ray, Mass Skytoss. For now, additional Oracles on the way. We're going full hero. And there's nothing. There's nothing that shoots up. There's vultures, there's tanks, there's spider mines, there's SCVs. That's all there is. And Darky's moving in for the kill, and I'm a little bit afraid we're about to get an insta GG. I'll be honest, like it's not gonna be pretty here. As the Oracle dives in, yep, SCVs are gonna be going down. Bratok pulls away to buy some time, and we're just smashing on more Oracles. More Oracles just being sent across the map. Again, you cannot make a Goliath without an armory, so the armory is on the way, so we're so far away from Goliath tech. The zero economy, zero mining, nothing in the main base, nothing in the natural, zero economy here for Bratok. And he's all in. He just has to send everything across the map. As that's going to be 7 SCV kills. We have Void Rays on the way. I mean, you can make whatever you want at this point. Bratok down in economy. Dark, he does race back home. I mean, Bratok, he at least forces this reaction. Honestly, this second Oracle could be across the map killing more SCVs, but Dark, he's respecting the all-in. He's respecting the army, I should say. As Bratok, he's now being forced back. Dark, now he's like, you know what, I should just attack. I should just send it. But the Goliaths have arrived. Okay, so Bratok is bought enough time. Void Ray has made it. Goliath they zone away the Oracles. Dark is still in a better position. But Bratok, he's, you know, somewhat in this game. As we do pick up another SCV. Another SCV at the natural. Likewise, another worker in the main base as well. Getting up to, 3 SCV kills. Getting up to 3 SCVs. We have the fleet beacon in production. Another Oracle as well. Getting up to how many? Getting up to quintuple Oracle. Let's go. 5 Oracles on the way. That's a lot of Oracles. And extra Void Rays. Bratok moving out. Alas, there's a full wall. Somewhat of a full wall here. With all those stalkers. So vultures, they cannot break in. Does the stasis go off on the spider mines? Is that... how's that work? One mine is not quite like the other. Don't be suspicious. It's fine, it's fine. It's like seeing 2 opposing widow mines borrowed next to each other, which I don't think I've ever seen before. Because why would you make widow mines in TVT? It's crazy. Meanwhile, the quintuple Oracle does hit the natural. SV's going to be going down. Goliath's out of position. Again, Goliaths, unlike Cyclones, are very immobile. We just came to the production. Goliaths are going down one after the other. They do not get an Oracle. There's no turret either. And Bratok, he turns around. Turns around, races back home. Dark just buying more time. Finally, 1 Oracle's going to go down. Gets 1, gets 2. Oh god, he just sacrifices. Yeah, he's just gonna throw away the Oracles. Gets 14 SCV kills. I want to see what happens here. I want to... Don't spider mines shoot up? They do not. They're not. Widow mines shoot up, spider mines do not. Like, what I mean is, I'm curious, if we get a revelation here, does the stasis go off? On the spider mines? When the spider mines aren't borrowed, does the stasis go off? I mean, we might be about to find out. Here we go. Bratok moving in. Oh, it does get him! There we go! Does trigger on the spider mines! Let's go! That's Bratok, he does push in, going for the expansion. Tempest coming in. Again, we were going to Skytoss, Tempest, Mothership. There's a couple of Goliaths. They do get the expansion at least. Spiders only hit ground. Yeah. As we mentioned, spider mines only hit grounds. Just, you know, don't confuse them with widow mines. Don't confuse them. Rock's being knocked down, but Athok trying to rotate, looking for another way in. I mean, hey, he's got a pretty robust army. Like, despite the economy being in shambles, like, that's a decent amount of Goliaths. Tempest, have to be careful not to overextend. Dark pulling back. Oh my god, another stasis goes off. Why I was asking, does stasis hit spiders? Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's. That was the whole conversation. Yes. Aye. We were making fun of the mines next to the mines. It's all good, it's all good. Yeah, we knew the spider mine wouldn't hit the stasis because otherwise it would have been triggered when the stasis was being built on top of the spider mines. Like that was that we found out instantly, right? that was not the question. But here we go. Dark pushing in. Likewise, Tempest popping off on the Goliaths. Oh. So far, workers getting caught out. Gets the entire mineral line. Aye. Tempest, they do hold their own, but that's going to be 15 probes falling. 15 workers go down. Goliath still moving in. And what can they get done before they all go down? As that is free damage here from the Tempest. Yeah, massive slow zone on the Goliath. Charge, let's say, do dive in. One Tempest goes down. Oof. And we are down to, what, 3 Goliaths left. That's not going to be enough. With that, but I think he will lose his army. Dark defends, cleans everything up. We'll lose 20 probes in the process, though. Aye. And with that, I mean, Dark, he can't really counterattack. Sure, he has a bunch of Tempest, but he has no support. He has no support for the Tempest, so he's going to stay back home. We have carriers on the way, getting into +2. Okay, Tempest are moving out, so recall is available. So if Dark ever gets caught out, he can always recall back home. Speaking of, we're going into mass Goliath production. How many Goliaths do we have left? So far, 9. 9 Goliaths here for Brathok. But of course, Dark, he can make use of the terrain. Runs into the Goliaths. Guides back. Rough terrain here for Brathok. Has to pull away. Stark is pushing in. So far, still a Goliaths. Like, Goliaths, they do decent damage here, but the problem is that Tempest, they just outranged. They're just outranged. They kite back. Tempest, they should not get caught out. I say that one Tempest almost falls. Oh my god. Yes, there we go. One Tempest does get picked off. But at what cost? At the cost of what? 8 Goliaths. Yeah, now we just overwhelm. We just overwhelm with mass Tempest. Chargers, they dive in, they get the tank. And Brathok just taking too many losses here. At the same time, diving into the mineral line, going for the minerals, going for the workers. Probes aren't going to go down. Again, Dark, he can always recall if he needs to. He can actually recall home and then recall back across the map if he wanted to. Like, he's at the mothership. Takes down the CC, and yeah, Brathok just being outscaled here. Unfortunately, it all came down to the early game, if you recall. Speaking of recall, just recall across the map. Reinforced with a couple of zealots. Gets into the production. Yeah, Brathok is overwhelmed. GG gets called. Unfortunately, Brathok, he was not able to scout the initial Stargate. He did not know about the Oracle Opener. And with that, Dark did snowball out of control. GG. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Dark, he does claim the series, does advance on to the next round. Whew. Does advance on. Just catching up in the chat. it was a mistake to send the Oracle back home. I wouldn't say so. Like, we know that he could have gotten more damage with the Oracle, but Dark, he was just afraid of the counterattack. We saw that Bratok, it was a good move from Bratok, where he didn't counterattack. He kind of like puffed up his chest and he faked a push. He was being active with his army, and because he was threatening an attack, that forced Dark back home. Even though he didn't commit, right? He didn't commit. That allowed Bratok to actually stay in the game. It allowed him to stay in the game. It allowed him to attempt to recover. He wasn't quite able to because Dark was so far ahead where he was able to tech up into +2 air attack, into the Fleet Beacon, into Tempest. But it was a good move there by Bratok, and it did give him that time he needed to try to get into the game. Of course, he still wasn't quite able to stabilize, but did have a fighting chance. Did have a fighting chance. Here we go. Just catching up. But yes. Then there was a discussion in the chat about the spider mines. That's the only attack round. Can confirm. Has everyone gone to the toss? Yeah, if you want to win some games, pap, you got to play Protoss. Cap. Again, when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, Dark, he usually does play random. So he was playing random. He just landed on Protoss twice. Landed on Toss twice. But here we go. We're getting into our next series. Up next, we have another TVP. This time an actual TVP, though. It is going to be ByuN. ByuN, he steps into the ring up against Art. Let's go. Do I really want to watch this? Yeah, you're intrigued, papi. If you want to watch Zerg, then I mean, we're here for StarCraft, okay? We're not here for Zerg. We're Smooge, papi, Smooge. Now, I mean, I'm sure Doc will land on Zerg at some point when he rolls the dice. He'll get there. He'll get there. For now, though, we're jumping into our next series, into our fresh best of 3, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have our blue Protoss player. We have a blue Protoss, not to be confused with the Polish art. It's the other art. It is, for Quasar, art. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran, the brutal Terran, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. We go as we are stepping in. Now again, if you've been watching ByuN as of late, you would know that ByuN, he has been embracing one particular build here in this matchup, and that is of course 3-rack stim. He has been mixing in a little bit of mech and some vulture play every now and then. I'm curious to see how ByuN's TVP has evolved here over the past couple of weeks, and whether he has been able to embrace some more builds and a little bit more of Brood War Terran. We'll see. Again, ByuN has been quite successful so far. Of course, we featured him in the SCL King of the Hill #2 a couple of days ago, where he popped off and he went on a massive win streak. Speaking of stim timings, speaking of 3-racks, yep, here we go. This should be 3-rack stim out of ByuN. And again, if you've been watching ByuN's games over the past month, then you will know this is all he does. Or I say all he does, it's like 90% of the games. 90% of the games as Brutal Terran, he goes for this stim timing. And I mean, to be fair, it does hit quite hard. We have Arts going for the gas deal. Let's go. Does take the gas. And that will slow ByuN down a little bit here, bearing in mind what we're going for is an early academy into stim, into marine production, into medics, potentially. I mean, we don't often mix in fire bats, but I guess there's the option here for ByuN if he so chooses. Mainly the marine medic. Marine medic is going to be masked up from our Terran player, moving out across the map with a very strong stim timing. Meanwhile, hello, Art does set up the proxy across the map, opening up 2 gates back at home, and potentially setting up a 3rd gateway as well. Show us what you got. There it is. There's that 3rd gate alongside the Robo. Okay, one base all in out of Art. It's going to be all or nothing with that Robo. He can proxy Immortals here in the face of ByuN. And here comes that academy. We're still a ways away from stim. Academy has been thrown down. ByuN, if he needs a gas, he can take the gas geyser here at the natural. Marines are building up. But pre-stim, there's a timing. There's a timing available here that Art can abuse. And we'll see if he can upset ByuN. As for now, ByuN, zero scouting. Zero scouting out of ByuN. He's now moving out with an SCV, but the scout might just be denied here by the initial units here of Art. ByuN, he sees one adept, he sees a stalker. Oh, that's a tell. Does see the initial two gateways. The initial two gateway units, I should say. Back at home, he's already got the bunker. Marines are amassing, medics are on the way, stim has begun. And here we go. Art is moving in. Now, with that immortal, he can focus down the bunker. We'll see how quickly ByuN pulls the boys to repair. We'll see if that can even make a difference. It's gonna be clutch. So the eBay on the way for +1. Medics have arrived. Immortal's moving in. As we'd have the second immortal on the way. Yo, sentries for force fields. Let's go. Alright, he can slice up the army. There we go, does reveal himself. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, it does repair in time. Whew, does repair. Of course, you can always force field to try to zone those SCVs away. Second bunker's in production. Now ByuN knows what's going on. Needs those extra bunkers, and Stim is done. Gee, Stim finishes so quickly. Jesus. That's insane. Stim is already done. He's ready. Is ready for it. Now that Stim is complete, can ByuN be broken? With a second bunker finishing, I'm a little bit less convinced. The bunker's not done yet. Nice force fields. Zoning back some of the army. But the bunker does stand strong. Yeah, the repairs are too good. Second bunker has completed. And now with two bunkers, I'm not too confident in these immortals, I'll be honest. They just don't have the burst damage that they need. Prism is coming in. Now the Prism can allow, of course, R to rotate into the main and to avoid those bunkers. There's an SCV on patrol. ByuN, does he notice? Does he notice in time? Yeah, he does. He rotates. ByuN rotate. Oh my god. Prism, calm down, Prism. Prism pulls away. He rotates back down, but the boys are already here repairing. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for ByuN. ByuN building up more medics, more Marines. Here come the first force fields. The first bunker is finally going to go down, but the Marines, they stim in. He stims on forward, going for the Prism, going for the Immortal. And the army gets surrounded, and ByuN, he snowballs out of control. He breaks through the army, takes down the Prism. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will hold. And ByuN takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Just catching up. Stim takes 50 seconds to research in Brood War, 60 in Evo, 100 seconds in SC2. Okay, thankfully I'm not going crazy, but yeah, I did notice it did finish a lot faster than I'm used to. Like, I'm used to panning back over after a set amount of time to see the progression. I checked to pan over and it was already done. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, it's already complete, Bob. What happened? It's crazy. So GG, well played. ByuN, he does take the initial lead here, does take game 1, does survive, does hold. Again, Art was on a timer. The longer it went on, it would just get worse and worse for our Protoss player. In the end, the all-in fails, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be settling in. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our blue Protoss player, our blue Protoss representing his new team Quasar. Down in the series now, Brood War Protoss. Let's go. It is Art. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player, the SC2 Terran, leading the series 1-0, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Didn't help that Art spent 75 minerals on a gas deal. I mean, I guess. I don't know if that would have assisted too much when it came to the overall assault. But again, I don't know how familiar Art is with ByuN and with his build, with his 3-racks Marine. I don't know if that really came into play, or that really was a factor when it came to Art's decision to go for the gas deal. I don't know if I would go that far. But here we go, getting into game 2. getting into game number 2, and we'll see how we do adjust. ByuN, of course, now he's going to be looking comfortable, now being able to embrace his SE2 Terran. This is the other big thing about KungFu Cup, of course, just to reiterate. Here in KungFu Cup, the format is very different. Here we do have instead a different dynamic where players are forced to play one race then the other. In typical StarCraft Evolution, it will be loser's pick, and it is very common to force ByuN to keep playing Brood War Terran, you know, to keep him playing a race that he's less familiar with, a race that he is less comfortable with, but that is not the case here in KungFu Cup. Here, ByuN is able to freely play SE2 Terran without much issue. So that is a concern. It's going to be a concern. Speaking of, let's go. Double gas opener into a faster factory, delayed CC out of ByuN, going more aggressive here. So much more aggressive start out of our Terran player. Here we go. So from here we should be setting up. Likewise, Art across the map is going to be likewise getting to his own opener here. Safety shield, but on the low ground. Getting to his first Dragoon. We do often see Dragoon Reaver play here in this matchup from the side of Protoss. We'll see if Art does mix it up. We have seen a couple of players try to play around with maybe like Stargate based openers or even earlier Storms or charge based play as well. But for the most part, again, Dragoon into Reaver is what we expect. Likewise, from the side of ByuN, CC on the high ground, it's a very safe opener here. As you mentioned, double gas leads into a later command center. Likewise, getting into a 1-1-1 into mine drop, standard play out of ByuN. Now, this mine drop is designed to scout, and it's going to be important because if you recall, I'd made the assumption like, oh, you know, Dragoon Reaver is what we expect. That is not what we're getting. It's going to be Dragoon into a Citadel of a Dune, so Art is mixing it up. I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go. Of course, you do need the Citadel for the Temple Archives if we were to open up and try to get into Storm, for example. Otherwise, going into Zealot Legs would make the most sense as kind of like a more gateway composition, a Swarm Toss style, if you will. But now Reaper does dip in, and the Reaper will get a scout, will confirm the tech. Does get eyes on the Citadel. There it is, Zealot Legs are on the way, and now ByuN is aware that he doesn't have to worry about Reaver drops. So a big moment here for ByuN. Does scout, does confirm. Likewise, taking his natural. Here we go. I think ByuN likes YOLO simming without starport tech. That is true when it comes to when he plays Brood War Terran. If you weren't here for it, if you haven't watched ByuN's Brood War Terran, he is very fond of 3-back stim, very fond. He does it almost every single game. We did mention that at the start of the series. That is only the case when it comes to Brood War Terran. When it comes to SE2 Terran, he's a lot more versatile. This is a much more standard TVP build going into his own Cloak Banshee follow-up. Mine drop into the main base, and Art does react in time, does pull away. Does pull away. Mine shot's gonna be going off. Nice connections. He gets one. Ooh, takes down one Dragoon. Art does hold. ByuN does escape with a one Widow Mine. Does pull away. Likewise, behind this, going from Zealot Legs into the Temple Archives, in towards Storm, in towards Archon production. Let's go. Or I guess technically DTs, but there it is. Storm is on the way. So Art is taking up. Meanwhile, ByuN isn't done. The harassment does continue. The mine drop coming back in, and the Widow Mine, it looks like it will not get a second shot off. Widow Mine goes down, Medevac as well. A little bit of an overextension here from ByuN. A little bit overzealous. Does lose the Medevac. So overall, I would say a better defense here from Art. But what's important is that ByuN, he got a rescout. And now he knows Storm. He knows that Storm is on the way. He saw everything. Meanwhile, Cloak is finishing up, and ByuN, he will hit that natural. Speaking of Cloak and speaking of Storm, no Robo. The reality here is that as we take in one direction, that means we lack tech in the other. There is no observatory, there is no Robo. That means there is no way to deal with this. There's a Forge on the way, but this Banshee has free reign. Yeah, the Banshee has free reign here. Probes are going to be going down, and before we can get into our game, is it over here and now? Again, you do have to jump through hoops to get detection here as Protoss, and now we see one of the downsides of not opening Robo is your lack of detection. And that's zero mining in the main. GG. GG, well played. Zero mining in the main base, zero detection. ByuN will take the series 2-0. GG. GG. And I appreciate that Art was trying something different, and it's not like Banshee openers are standard, or I should say, it's not like they're common, but they're not, I should say, especially in SE2 TVP, like you do expect them at least once in a series, but again, we don't often see that from ByuN in StarCraft Evolution, just because often he's not playing SE2 Terran, but alas, we kind of saw a big kind of weak point there when it comes to trying to skip the robo, trying to go into storm-based openers and storm-based play. Just that, how do you deal with Cloak Banshees? You don't. Unfortunately, you don't. If there was maybe an earlier Forge, or if maybe there was an earlier attempted Scouts, but even then, like, scouting is quite limited for Brood War Protoss, especially in the early game, so GG, well played. Unfortunately, didn't quite get to sink our teeth into the matchup itself. Regardless, congratulations to ByuN. Congratulations. As he will advance on, and we are now getting ready for our semi-finals. So these were the quarterfinals matches, and with that, ByuN does advance on to face off against YoungYakov, Dark advanced on to face off against Gerald. So we have 2 more matches ahead of us here in those semis. We do need a moment to set things up. Let's go. But I guess for now we're going to be going on a short break. These are short games. We haven't really been able to sink our teeth into too many of these matches, but these have been short games. We're going to be going on a very short break here, and when we come back, we'll have the semis and then the grand finals. Once again, I'm looking forward to some more back and forths here. I haven't seen much of YoungYakov, I'll be honest. Like, YoungYakov has been on a bit of hiatus. YoungYakov, he has not been very active over the past couple of weeks, but we did cover yesterday during the podcast that YoungYakov did qualify for Star as Zagora, which was crazy. It caught us completely off guard, but YoungYakov, he did perform quite well in that tournament, just out of left field. And if I remember correctly, is YoungYakov a part of the team house? I was meant to ask Milky Cow about this, but they did kind of open up a team house, like a bunch of the CIS players. I think I saw Milky Cow, and was DeWalt a part of it? Am I thinking of like Milky Cow, DeWalt, like Shameless, like GG Machine? It was shown on Twitter. And is YoungYakov a part of that? That would make sense when it comes to his current like spike in skill. If that was happening. Hold on. Milky Cow. I have the technology. Shameless, GG Machine, YoungYakov, Art, Asmodi. That's his. Yeah, so YoungYakov, he's a part of the team house. Okay. So yeah, now that suddenly makes a little bit more sense, and I'm excited to see how he looks like, or how he looks in StarCraft Evolution. We're gonna find out. For now, we're gonna be going on a short break, and we'll see you guys shortly after the break. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brood War OST as we have returned. We have returned here with the semifinals of the KungFu Cup StarCraft Evolution Edition. Again, so far, really fast games, really fast matches. I'm hoping to sink our teeth into a back and forth and some mid-game between our players, but we'll see if that's the case. If you remember, the last time we casted KungFu Cup a couple of days ago, the only proper mid-game that we had was actually Brood War versus Brood War and SC2 versus SC2. Like, those were the... Once we got into, like, the quote-unquote mirror matchups of the same kind of iterations of the game facing off against each other, we actually got some mid-game, we got some late game even. Like the highlight for me was still Spirit versus Classic on Amygdala. If you missed it, that was amazing. I loved it so much. It was Brood War Terran versus Brood War Protoss. But we'll see what transpires here as we jump into our fresh semifinals. It's going to be a best of 3 between Dark and Gerald. As a reminder, once again, Dark has been playing random, so actually I should fix that. Yeah, there we go. Dark has been playing random, and I believe that trend will continue as we get into the semis. Game 1 is going to be on Return of the King. Oh boy. And we'll see what race Dark lands on. Does we have the answer? We have the answer. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Return of the King, we have the Brood War Terran player. Remember, random did roll on Terran from South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Gerald, of course, rocking SC2 Protoss, and we have cross spawns on Return of the King. Let's go. Let us go. For those that are curious, this is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, bottom left, and bottom right locations, so they don't know where each other are. On top of that, Gerald doesn't even know what race he's up against. Gerald has no idea, so it's on Gerald to scout, and he does send his probe across the map. Ooh, and he will check the horizontal spawn. He will find Dark immediately. So nicely done here by Gerald. Nicely done. When it comes to the map itself, very unique map. There is the island base, bottom left. Each corner has an island base that all the players can take, of course. We have the natural, but after that, things get weird. The third base that isn't the island, or even the fourth base locations, are very isolated, very exposed. We have seen, if you recall in the Spirit Classic series, we've seen players struggle to maintain these bases as they are so spread out. We even saw it actually in the Classic versus before Spirit. He faced up against another Terran player. Another player, sorry, it was a TVT. That's it, TVT between Spirit and Bratok, I want to say. Yeah, Spirit and Bratok, where we also saw Bratok struggle to defend as these bases are so far apart. Likewise, you have this massive cliff face that does cover the main route to the expansion as well, so you can just cut your opponent off from their own base. This is just a really brutal position to defend, being the defending player specifically. Meanwhile, Gerald does scout. Gerald, he scouts, he confirms, he gets eyes on Dark, is now aware of the Terran player. Meanwhile, Dark pulling up ByuN, going through Rexstim. I mean, again, this is just a very trendy, it's just very trendy. It's just a very popular build here. So 3 Rexstim out of Dark. This is the same build we saw at ByuN in Game 1 in his series. And we'll see if Gerald can hold. We'll see if he can hold, we'll see if he can defend. As the probe does go further in, the probe does confirm the 3 axes, the probe confirms the academy. Geralt is fully aware of what's going on. The advantage for Dark, again, close spawns. We have close spawns here on a Return of the King. So that's going to benefit Dark even further, as Dark, he does not yet fully find his opponents, but is on the hunt with that SCV. Probe is being hunted down. Back at home, what is the response? Robo Opener. Now, we have seen Robo Openers into Colossus shut ByuN down. Specifically, I'm referring to ByuN versus, was it DeWalt? No, it was ByuN versus, oh god, it was a CIS Protoss player. Zardiant, it wasn't Zardiant. Was it Zardiant? No shot. But it was during the SCL King of the Hill. It was during King of the Hill. Oh god, all the Protosses, they blend together. Hold on. So far we do get 2 SCV kills. Dark is building up his bio, so I'm just quickly looking it up. It was, no, yeah, it was Zardian. That's it. So Zardian, he shut ByuN down on Vermeer. That was the map. With a robo opener into Colossus. So Zardian, he had a good response to this. We'll see if Gerald can get there. As the robo is done, yep, the bait is on the way for the Colossus. But Dark, he may hit before the Colossus comes out. Again, this may hit sooner. There we go. Stim is already complete. First Stalker falls. Gerald's in a bit of trouble here. Again, the bait just began. Shield batteries being thrown down. Marines are already here. And the gateway falls. That's a kill, not a cancel. Shield batteries are completing. The Bio Army does stim in. Voids are being pulled. And so far, Gerald, he's holding. Does hold the line. Again, he's buying time for the Colossus. Meanwhile, Dark is still rallying across the map, still massing out more Marines. Throws down 2 more Raxes. Oh my god, turning this into a 5 Rax. The Raxes, they don't stop. They don't end. They don't end. All these Protoss look the same to me. Hey, we got there in the end. It was Zardian. For some reason in my brain, like when I think of Zardian, I think of a Terran player. That's why I was second guessing myself. Yeah. Protoss. Dark moving in. We do have some force fields, and you have a charge here on the sentry. So far, Gerald, he holds the line. Shield Battery's putting in a lot of work. One Shield Battery runs out of energy. There's one left. Does focus on one of the medics. Nice force fields, looking Dark in. Ooh, does partially look him in. Never mind. Some of the Marines, they squeeze out. But Gerald, he's holding. He's holding, and you know what? The Colossus has arrived. Gerald, he has held. He should be able to force this back with the help of that Colossus, as it's still just about to pop out. And there we go. Now it has arrived, and with that, Gerald, he does hold. He does hold. There's no breaking Gerald. Mass Marine will not touch that Colossus. And Dark is forced into a longer game. Behind this, factories now being thrown down. These are late factories for Dark. Gerald, he's counterattacking. He's not slowing down. He's trying to punish these medics. Dark getting the hell out of here. And Gerald, he was watching King of the Hill. He was like, this I'm less certain of, but Gerald, he's expanding towards his opponent. We have Gerald, he's right next to the Natural of Dark. They're right next to each other. They're touching tips, assuming that Gerald does take this expansion. As Dark is trying to get into his own tank support. CC is on the way. And the best way to protect his base would be to expand with his army, as he's out to 2, soon to be 3 Colossus. Didn't know they had a Lord of the Ring map. Super dope. I don't know what this is referencing. As in, like, the map is called Return of the King. I don't think I see any Lord of the Rings references on the map itself, though, unfortunately. Like, unfortunately. Here we go. Still massing up. Dark, he does bypass the main army. He does scout the Colossus. And Dark coming in from behind. Now, this tells me there's almost nothing to defend. Back at home, there's 2 tanks. Siege mode is now finishing up. Dark moving in. It's a brutal port, so there's not much that could have done aside from the name. I think aesthetically, you can have like a medieval setting, like for sure. I think an attempt can be made. I mean, I don't know if maybe that wouldn't be possible considering the tile set that they had to work with. To be fair, I'm less familiar with the tile sets available to Brood War map makers. But I appreciate the name reference nonetheless. I appreciate it. Now, you know what would be a deep cut actually is this a reference to the books? And what I mean by that is, when did there's a chance, is there a chance? Would this map have come out before the movie came out? Well, the movie came out like in 2003. How old is this map? That's what I'm curious by. Because it would be cool if this was like a reference to Lord of the Rings before Lord of the Rings became like more mainstream. regardless, we are setting up. We have Gerald going for the pylon block. Dark, his Rumba has yet to really commit. This is Casper era, so like 2008. Okay. 2008, 2009. Fair enough. Fair enough. Gerald is moving in. Oh my god, it looks too much. You're like, the map makes sense. Okay, it can't be an old map. True. I mean, I say it makes sense, but I mean, I'm still just aghast at this thing. I just... The cliff face just covering the entire reinforcing path to the third is crazy. And we never see anything like this in modern StarCraft. Even in modern Brood War, I don't think. Insane. But Gerald, he does rotates, containing Dark on 2 bases. Dark, he's getting to his own mech transition. Again, we're done with Bio. It's all about vultures, tanks. But it's a bit of a late transition, of course, from Dark. As he's stumbling his way into this. You see Gerald taking a 4th base. Look up Deja Vu. Current map pool into ASL after this game. Oh no. Oh no. I'm afraid to look. This is where, like, mate, map makers in Brood War, they're still animals, baby. They're still animals. Ah. I see. I'll try to remember to look it up. Meanwhile, the Bio army does get spotted, does get shut down. Gerald takes over the map. Forces back the vultures. And the question becomes, when does Gerald try to dive in? Well, for now, he's maxing out. We're getting to disruptors, getting to more robotech, second robo, eventually into mass disruptor, potentially into sky toss. That would be the ideal late game here for Gerald. As for now, he maintains map control. We have pylons thrown down and scattered across the map, observers, DTs, gateways as well. There's no way Dark can move out without being spotted. Gerald, he's in control. He's in control of this game. And it's not going to be impossible for Dark to recover, but he needs a lot to go his way here. When it comes to some of these big engagements, he has to, like, ideally bait Gerald into a fight into these siege lines. He's hoping that Gerald does overextend. As Gerald, he sees the CC. Yeah, he sees the base. And again, Gerald's win condition is to contain, to make sure that Dark is stuck on 2 bases for as long as possible. Now, Dark does have a 3rd, true, technically. So I should say contain him on 4 bases, sorry, contain him on 3 bases and deny the 4th. But this island base is saving Dark, is what I will say. It's keeping in this. Oh, vultures, they get caught out. It's a massive catch. Vultures, they speed away. They break out. They force Gerald back home. They force him back. Spider-Man's being thrown down, a bit of a panic. Vultures, they do make their way into the mineral line. They get a couple of probe kills. More Spider-Mines. Oh! But the last vultures, yeah, they get caught out. Massive catch. And Gerald shuts down the vultures. He defends. In the midst of all this, Dark trying to establish that 4th base. He has a little bit of breathing room. But Gerald is coming back. He's racing back. Dark is yet to expand. There we go. There's the CC. But the problem here again, like, what's Dark gonna do? Like, set up siege lines on the low ground and fight up a ramp? Like this is what I mean. Like, this is crazy. Like, there's so much working against the defending player here. What Dark's, he's gonna have defensive mischance. Like, like there's gonna be an attacker's advantage here at the 3rd. It's insane. I guess Dark has his siege line, I suppose, but I mean, it won't save the command center. Oh my god. Speaking of, Gerald has to calm down, has to back off. And yeah, so far here on Return of the King, we've seen many a player struggle to take the space. I say struggle, I mean Gerald isn't struggling, but I should emphasize whoever has map control has a big advantage here on Return of the King. Has a massive advantage. And Gerald does have that map control. And again, unless Gerald gets dragged within range of all these tanks, and it's kind of being dragged in, gets an Archon. I would say that now would be the time for Gerald to throw down some Stargates. Like, I'd love to see some Stargates, a Fleet Beacon, get ready for Tempest, just because this army is getting quite large. There's a recall back home. Dark, he does create an opening. That recall. Dark, he's getting his base. And again, where's that Sky Toss? Still no transition. Oh! Yeah, Gerald, he moves in. He will lose all these Stalkers. Gets one of those tanks. Only one. Yeah, that recall did create an opening. And now Dark, he takes over his 4th base. Dark expands. Let's go. He expands. He's catching up. That's a lot of tanks. Gerald's looking for another way in. And again, Gerald, he's max. He has a bank. He's got 2k, 2k. Takes down the minefield. Oh. Gerald, he does take down a couple of tanks on the low ground. Zelce force friendly fire. Gerald forcing his way in. It's not going to be pretty, but he does get us all with the tanks. There we go. 5, 6, 7 tanks going down. Massive pickoffs. Busting into the natural. And it wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, but Gerald, he does break through. And with that, the mineral line goes down. The natural is going to fall. And he does preserve his Colossus at least. I spoke too soon. Oh. God, that tank putting in a lot of work. Jesus. That one tank kills 2 Immortals, and now it's going to get a Colossus. Oh my god. Does pull away in time. Gerald forcing his way into the main. Getting on top of the production. Never goes off. Ooh, does connect with the tanks. And again, like, this is not really the most efficient trade here from Gerald, as he will lose even more Colossus. But he can afford it. That's true, right? Gerald, he's got a massive bank. He can afford these losses. He can afford these trades. Is Gerald still on 1 robo? No shot. 1 robo. This might kill him. Like, Gerald, his production, I mean, we were talking earlier about the lack of Stargates, but even the lack of additional robos. What I mean by that is that Gerald, he can make 1 Immortal at a time. Like, he cannot remax. Despite his bank, he can't spend his money. No. So, Gerald, he's tunnel visioning a little bit here. It is concerning. Going into mass DT, got scanned. Dark still on a 3 base economy. I say that, really on a 2 base economy at this point. And I'm hoping for either additional robos or said Stargates. Right now, Gerald, he is down in army supply. Gerald being forced back. Dark, he breaks out. Again, that's a lot of tanks. That's how many? That's 20 tanks. So he's moving in. How many gateways is Gerald on? He's on 10. Likewise, I feel like the gate count is also very low. Only 10 gateways. So the lack of production is really, it's less Dark killing Gerald and it's more Gerald's production killing Gerald. It's really slowing him down. I'll say combination of the two. Dark is moving in. DTs, they come in from behind. Ooh, they shut down around 4 tanks. They force some friendly fire. Tank boys going off, the Colossus going down. And Dark, no shot. Is he gonna pull this off? Dark, he's breaking through. Gerald, he still can't spend his money. Aye. He can't spend his money. The mineral line goes down. And Dark, he breaks out. He takes down the expansion. There we go. Finally, a second robo's on the way. It took so long. And it may not come into play, actually, as Dark, he's pushing in. He's going for the main base here of Gerald. Again, we're still in the low gate count as well. Low gate count. Still only on 10. Dark moving in. And Dark, he may be able to take this. He's making his way into the main. Ooh, never goes off. Nice Nova. Never goes off. See someone in the chat. Vultures don't shoot up, right? Just Spider-Mans? No, neither one. Goliaths shoot up, though. The Goliaths. The mini Thors, if you will. Goliaths shoot up. As you can see here, they're shooting up the Colossus. That's technically Colossus is in the air. At least it's upper half. tanks, they do make their way through. Gateways are going down. The Robo is exposed. We can't afford to lose these gateways. Dark moving in. Now there is a mischance here for Dark, but despite that, there were just so many tank volleys, so many tank shots. Dark forcing his way into the natural. DTs, they do blink on top of the tanks though. Oh my god. Where's the scan? And even with the scan, the friendly fire is insane. And not a bad move here from Gerald. He will lose the DTs, but again, not a bad trade. He's trying to hold on, but that's all he had. That's all he had left. He's just forcing his way through that initial defensive line. Never goes off. Oh! And Dark, he will overwhelm. As we have more DTs waddling in. I mean, again, like they're doing an okay job here, but alas. Dark, he's not stopping, still reinforcing with more tanks. Getting within range of the bay. Justine's vision. Justine's vision. There we go. Cybercore going to be going down as well. Science vessels on the way to help deal with these Dark Templar. They have been an issue. And down goes the bay. No more disruptors. What you see is what you get. There's still one more disruptor on the way here, top left. We have a gateway explosion finally as well. Yeah, Darky breaks through. GG gets called. No shot. Darky overwhelms. And despite the contain, Darky breaks on through. He will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Gerald, he was in such a good position this game, but again, his production was hurting him. It did look like he was tunnel visioning a little bit too much, and it looked like Gerald was maybe overconfident. What I'm referring to is that Gerald, he was maxed out. Remember, he was maxed out, 200 supply. He was containing his opponent on 3 bases, but Gerald, despite being maxed out, despite banking up those resources, he didn't really do anything with that, whether it's teching up or whether it's setting up his production for when he will lose his army. And eventually he did. Eventually Gerald, he forced his way into the natural, and he did do a lot of damage, but that was the army that he never replaced. He never was able to replace it. He didn't have the gateway count. He was stuck only on 10 gates. It was stuck on 1 robo as well, so he just could not rebuild. Even towards the end of that game, he had minerals and gas in the bank. He just couldn't spend that money. Couldn't spend it. GG, well played. With that, Dark takes game number 1. Here we go. And now we're jumping into game number 2. Oh, it's the baby leagues. Oh no. As I should have some time to cover a replay after this broadcast for sure. Oh no. What am I gonna stumble into? Aye. As Dark takes the lead, now we're jumping into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Frostline. The arm will lose to 4 Void Rays. If you're watching the quarterfinals, that happened. Dark played Protoss. Dark played Protoss against Brathok, and Dark did go Oracle Void Ray against Mech, and he was able to overwhelm the Mech army. Did happen earlier in the broadcast, but here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the Polish Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the random South Korean player, random, and he does land on SC2 Protoss. We have a PvP. It is Dark. Don't forget to wash your butt. Oh no, it's already washed. It's already clean. It's fine. It's fine. Protoss never loses. Dark did win his Protoss, is what I was getting at. Dark did win his Protoss in his match, I should say. But now we have our PvP. And we haven't seen Dark in this matchup, I don't think, before. We have seen Dark in regular PvPs, in SC2 versus SC2, that is true. We have seen that, but I don't think I've seen Dark's Protoss against Brood War Protoss. So this is going to be a bit of a different dynamic. We'll see how Dark does compare. We shall see. So I'm just catching up with the chat. Have we had any 2v2 Evo games? We have. Unfortunately, we haven't. I say we have. The community has. 2v2 tournaments do exist in StarCraft Evolution, but we haven't, as in the CranKy Ducklings, haven't casted them. I am very tempted, though. I'm very tempted. But there are a lot of regular StarCraft Evolution 2v2 tournaments that are going on, but they're mainly focused in the CIS region. I believe 3D Clan and Bratok, they host regular 2v2 tournaments with StarCraft Evolution. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. Don't have official Team SEL yet because I don't have team match for Evo. Yeah, I guess there's no StarCraft Evolution League 2v2 events, but there's plenty of StarCraft Evolution 2v2 tournaments. I should emphasize that. I'm very tempted to reach out and try to get some replay casting of them, but they do exist. They do exist. Typically, check out like Middle VK or Bratok. They're usually covering those events on their respective channels. As for that, we have our initial openers. It is going to be a Stargate, so 2-gate opener into a Stargate out of Dark before expanding. Meanwhile, Gerald's across the map going for the faster Nexus. So we have a Nexus, or a faster Nexus here from our red Protoss. We have faster tech from our blue Protoss instead. Adept stay threat in the shade, but so far, Gerald, he keeps up. Does keep up. Does catch out the Adepts. Mining time is denied. Oh. So far, 2 probes go down. You know, Oracle's on the way for Dark. No major damage yet. As the Oracle's on the way. Gerald, he did scout the main, but he did not see the tech. He did not see the Stargate. So Gerald is in the dark. He doesn't know what's going on. Dark making his way into the main. And the mineral line is exposed. And this is one of the big weaknesses here of Brutal Protoss is their immobility. Thankfully, there is one, soon to be 2 Dragoons in the main base, so Gerald, he's in position and he should defend. He'll lose 2 probes, but not much more than that. Yep, does his own away. Gerald's moving in, knocking down that front door. Dark trying to keep up. No safety shield battery. Uh-oh. Yeah, no shield battery. Gerald, he's breaking through. Takes down the pylon. Can push further into the main. And Dark is in a bit of trouble here. Getting into the Stalkers. Gerald not paying attention. Yeah, Gerald, he doesn't kite back. 1 Dragoon goes down. He will lose 1. He will lose another. Yeah, 2nd Dragoon falls, trading 1 for 1. Ooh, takes out the Oracle though. Not the worst trade towards the end. Dark, he wants it. Oh, does get the Dragoon. 3 for 3. And plus the Oracle. As Dark, he does hold. Again, just a much later expansion. Getting into his Stalkers, and Gerald just has a very comfortable lead. Like, the reality here is that Gerald, because of the faster expansion, he has a greater economy, and this Stargate opener out of Dark hasn't made up for that. It's not made up for it, not yet. Ooh. As Gerald, he's just rallying across the map, looking to overwhelm. Again, the pylon went down earlier, still no shield battery. And I don't see Dark defending against this. Yeah, Gerald, GG gets called. Gerald, he will not be stopped, and Gerald will tab the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, let's go. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match here. Again, Gerald was able to overwhelm. Gerald, he defended very well against that Oracle. The Oracle got only 2 probe kills, was not worth it. Likewise, Dark, he was kind of like fumbling to defend early on. No shield batteries, no defensive setup on the low ground. Late expansion. GG. GG, well played. We have a back and forth. We're going to the ace match. Game 3 is going to be on Amygdala. And the question becomes, what does Dark land on this time? We've been casting quite an amount of Dark here tonight. We have seen 0 Zerg out of him yet. I mean, it's all RNG. It's all RNG. As he is going to be committing. And we're getting into the ace match. Oh. And for the first time, he will land on Zerg. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our Polish Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss. It is Gerald for Streamer Zone. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player for the first time this broadcast, actually landing on Brood War Zerg from South Korea. It is Dark. Here we go. As we are settling in and we're calming things down. You have Gerald sitting up here on the low ground, Dark likewise taking his hatchery, going hatch first. Now when it comes to Dark's Brood War Zerg, we have seen a lot of very greedy play out of Dark. Something that I should emphasize is that Dark, I would say that he is the strongest Zerg player currently in StarCraft Evolution. I'll say he's stronger than 3 Point, stronger than Shin. We don't like Solo doesn't play, Cyril doesn't play, Rainer doesn't play. Dark, like he is the highest rated and the highest placing Zerg player in StarCraft Evolution, and he has a lot of very aggressive builds and also very greedy builds. As you can see, hatch before pool. So very greedy play here by Dark. He's very fond of cutting corners, and if you do not punish him, then he will get out of hand and he will get out of control. So it's going to be hatch, followed by a gas, followed by a very late spawning pool here by Dark. We saw that he has been quite fond of playing Ling Hydra, for example, Ling Hydra into eventually Lurker tech. We could even see skipped Ling speed into a lair, into Muta play. We'll keep an eye on Dark. We'll see where he takes us. Dark is going to have options. Likewise, Gerald setting up back at home. Does set up. Yo, shout out to the new assimilator model, as always. Ay. It's just so wrinkly. It's so veiny. Jesus. Every time. And there it is already. We have another expansion, so a third base on the way here for Dark before the spawning pool is even done. So again, just really greedy play here from our Zerg player. Likewise, Gerald's going for a standard opener himself into Stargate. And Dark should be okay here. Ideally, he does want his spores to finish up in time to defend against the Oracle. For those that are curious, as you can imagine, no queens, or I should say queens are a very different unit in Brood War. So when it comes to early game anti-air, you can rush into early Hydras, and it is often seen to go into an early Hydra Den, but also spore crawlers are going to be required. There we go, Hydra Den is on the way for Dark. You may be curious, if you haven't seen StarCraft Evolution Hydra Den already, what's going on? Hydra Tech is Hatch Tech in Brood War. It is not Lair Tech. And it's necessary just because you need anti-air to defend against something like, you know, early game Oracles, for example. It is going to be a Void Ray opener. Okay. Void Ray is on the way for Gerald. Likewise, Lings, they do slip into the natural, getting one probe so far, and getting a full scout. So nicely done here by Dark. Does slip in, does get eyes on the Stargate and on the Morphing and Void Ray, so Dark, he sees everything in the main. Hydra Den is done, and Hydra Speed is on the way. Now, because he knows that it's a Void Ray, Dark, he knows that he doesn't have to prioritize Hydra production, bearing in mind that Dark, he did skip Ling Speed. That's how he was able to afford the Hydra Den and avoid Hydras. He can skip, or he does skip Ling Speed, going straight into Hydras themselves. And they should be out in time to defend and deflect against the Void Ray. Meanwhile, Geralt taking his third. And going for a very early Twilight Council. Okay, so if this was a standard Protoss, then I would categorize Geralt in that. This screams Glaive Adepts. This screams Glaive Adepts here from Geralt. If we were casting Hero, I would say early Blink into a 3-base H-Gate Blink all in. So if this was Hero, I'd say Blink. This is anyone else, this should be Glaives. We'll keep an eye on Geralt. Show us what you got. 5 counts are done. Yep, Glaives are on the way. So mass Glaive Adept here, and Glaives can wreak havoc. It can be difficult here for the defending Zerg player to keep up with the shades, to keep up with the movement. Dark, he's gonna have to hold on, and we'll see if he can survive and defend against the Glaives of Geralt. Let's go. Now, Hydras are a bit of a different units here. They're the same in name, but really only in name, and I guess in visual look. I mean, personally, I do like how the Hydras look here in Brood War. I mean, they look amazing. I appreciate their aesthetic. but Hydras, I believe they are not categorized as light units. So because of that, Glaive Adepts, they would annihilate and just blaze through SC2 Hydras real fast and real quick. And I would say this is almost, if this was in SC2, I would say this is almost a build order win for Gerald. But here, Brood War Hydras are built different, and we already have Dark moving in. He does not drone up the third base, he drones up the natural, massing up Ling Hydra, does move out, takes a stasis to the face. Oh my god! Stasis does go off. Dark, he's being delayed, but the Hydras are still rallying on. Yeah, Dark sending everything across the map. We'll see if Dark can break through. Essentially, 2 base all in. 2 base all in, no lair. No lair, no droning, no nothing, just Hydra. Just Hydras with Hydra speed, with +1 range on the way as well. Glaives does finish up here for Gerald, but the Hydras are already knocking down that front door. And again, Gerald, he never saw this coming. Trying to dive on top of the army. Hydras, they can still trade well against the Adepts. Adepts, they commit, but the Hydras, they overwhelm. Yeah, they will overwhelm the Adepts. The Adepts are going down one after the other. Gerald, he's used to playing against SC2 Hydras. He's like, what the hell? it's like, why did my Adepts do no damage? Mate, they're built different, Pappy. Oh my god. As the Hydras, they start step 4, they take down the Adepts. The base is going to be going down. Maybe not just the base, maybe just the entire army as well. As Hydras, they just rally in. They rally forward, they take down the Nexus. They start to step in, taking down the Adepts. And now Geralt, he's stuck on 2 bases. Ooh, as another Stalker falls. Another Stalker goes down. And the army just can't engage. I mean, they just cannot engage, not into this wall of Hydras. The gateways are going down, the Cyber Core as well, and Dark is overwhelming. It shouldn't be a surprise that Dark is going for an all-in. I mean, we've seen a lot of aggression from him in general. It's but boys are being pulled. The final stand here for Gerald. But alas, the boys are all going down. The Hydras, they just prove to be too much. GG gets called, and Dark, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Dark does claim it. Again, we had, I would say, Dark, sorry, I would say Geralt just getting caught, getting blindsided. As a reminder, Geralt, he didn't scout. Winding it all the way back to the beginning, what did we see as the opener of Geralt? Void Ray. It was a Void Ray opener, not an Oracle opener. Because of that, he had limited scouting information. Likewise, the Adepts were having a hard time getting vision across the map. We did point out some of the tells here. There was no link speed, there was no lair, there was no drones at the third. Unfortunately, Geralt, he failed to recognize this. And not just that, but also before Geralt even took his third, remember, he had already decided he was being hyper aggressive with Glaive Adepts. And as you can see, Glaive Adepts would work wonders against SC2 Zerg if they were going Ling Hydra, but in Brood War, it's a little bit of a different story here. Hydras, they are like a cross between the Hydra and the Roach. Hydras are a lot more of a well-rounded unit, and against a Hydra all-in, that's where standard play would have worked a little bit better for Geralt. When I say standard play, I do mean getting into Blink Stalkers, of course scouting across the map and getting a more defensive position back at home at the natural base as well, not necessarily at the third, as the third was going to be a lost cause. But again, a lot of it just came down to the lack of information and lack of scouting from Geralt. He just didn't know what was happening, didn't know he was being all-in. Was just unaware of the all-in, and with that, GG well played. We are now getting into game number 2, or we're getting into, I should say, our second semifinals. Up next, we have ByuN versus YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. Maybe Zealot charge better. I mean, Stalkers would have mattered there as well. Like again, like a lot of it just came down to the fact that, just to re-emphasize that Geralt, he was going for his own aggressive build blindly, not knowing that he was up against an all-in, right? Like, it's not like he made the decision reactively or anything like that. It was already a decision made ahead of time. It's almost like our 2 players kind of picked their builds and they went up against each other, right? Like, blindly, I should say. But here we go, we're getting to our next semifinals. And this morning, in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have our blue Zerg player. We have our blue Zerg, our SC2 Zerg. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player with the red Terran himself, the Brood War Terran representing Shovel Rebellion. It is ByuN from South Korea. And if you haven't seen ByuN play this before, then we can all make the assumption initially, is ByuN going to go 3 Raxes into Stim into a 3x Stim timing? The answer to that is probably yes. He's going CC first though, so a very greedy start out of ByuN, and we'll see if we throw down additional Raxes and if we commit into that Stim timing. Meanwhile, YoungYakov back at home going hatch, gas, pool, standard opener out of YoungYakov. And yep, there we go, extra Raxes. So it is going to be that same build. It's going to be that Stim timing from ByuN. Again, it has been very trendy. This is also the reason why it's been nerfed. I would say that it's just been, I say very trendy, it's just very, very, very common to see 3-rack Stim. We even saw it from Dark earlier. And it has just been everything that ByuN does. I mean, it works well. It's a solid build. And many a player have attempted and failed to defend against it. We'll see if YoungYakov can keep up. We'll see if he's familiar. But now just droning. For now, he's droning. Likewise, ByuN will soon start his academy behind this. Now taking a second gas geyser, of course. To be able to get into his medics. To be able to get into his Stim. Now, ByuN is playing blind. For all he knows, it could be like a roach all incoming his way. YoungYakov is playing standard, thankfully for ByuN. Make Hydra's great again. True, true. Ah, no. There's the academy. Academy is on the way, and again, this should be for Stim, of course, for the eventual move out from ByuN. YoungYakov back at home. He is somewhat aware. He is aware of the bunker, of course, of the marine production. We do have a very safe follow-up here out of YoungYakov going for the Roach Warren. I do like this for the Zerg player. We can see ByuN is now incorporating Fire Bats, and we have seen many a Zerg going Ling Hydra struggle and fail to defend against this, but going into Roaches is a very safe way to play. Very safe. As Roaches, they're going to be more robust, they have kiting potential as well, but it comes down to the execution. As the initial Fire Bat has arrived. Oh, let's go. Look, he's so tanky. Bio army is building up. We have Roach production beginning. This initial Overlord should scout the move out. Speaking of, here it comes. And YoungYakov, he knows. Now he knows, he sees medics, he sees the Fire Bat, sees the Bio. We'll lose the Overlord, as it was slightly out of position. And now we have nothing but Roach production. And we'll see if YoungYakov can hold. Behind this ByuN is transitioning. We have the factory on the way. We'll see if he does switch into mech from here, or if he commits into Bio. Pushing onto creep. YoungYakov is built up to 8 Roaches so far. Hoping to bait out a Stim. Oh, gets a Fire Bat. Oh, does trade though, losing out 2 Roaches. Yeah, bit of an overextension. But does snipe the Fire Bat, pulls back, pulls away, and now he's droning. Now he's droning up his third base. YoungYakov, he had to cut workers early on to pull off that defense, but YoungYakov does hold. Now, what is important? Yes, YoungYakov holds. Yes, we get into a longer game, but ByuN did preserve the army. What did he lose? 1 Fire Bat, 2 Marines. ByuN didn't really lose much here, so he preserves his army to build up towards a later timing. This time with +1, this time with range. So we have our bio upgrades on the way. We have extra racks getting into a 5-rack setup, 5 racks getting into tank production as well to support. ByuN is still being active. YoungYakov is not out of the woods yet. YoungYakov is still in the thick of it. Making a couple of Ravagers, still trying to saturate his bases. ByuN still has map control. Yakov, he doesn't want to get caught out like this though. He runs into the army, and ByuN stims in. Yeah, a lot of Roaches going to be going down. Getting up to 2, 3, 4 roaches. Getting up to 5. Ay, ay, ay. A lot of losses here for YoungYakov. The Bio army stims in. And again, Yakov, he got caught off of creep. So much more efficient trade here from ByuN. As he trades out minerals for gas. That was 7 marines for 9 roaches. Ay, ay, ay. So heavily in favor of ByuN. And Yakov, he's in trouble. He's in trouble here. He has to replenish all those roaches, which is expensive. Resped all that creep. Now taking gases. Scan does reveal saturation. And Yakov from this point will need a 4th base. Now expanding, taking his linear 4th. So we are getting to a longer game state. Science facility on the way. From here we can start working towards science vessels. Or even start working towards ghost production. Keep an eye on ByuN. Catching out more overlords. Denying vision. And ByuN is expanding, and for the first time we're actually seeing ByuN in a longer game. Like ByuN's games so far here this broadcast, and even in the previous KungFu Cup, have been very short games. But YoungYakov, he does pose enough of a threat. He does force him into the mid game. Let's go. ByuN sims in. Main army does rotate. Does rotate on the right hand side. Science vessel is in production. Oh. Yakov, he's still keeping up. But he does miss the main army, just now spotting it. Getting in position. Can he buy the first tank? He can! Ooh, the first tank goes down. Nice smile. Ooh, but roaches are getting picked up. He does need that support. Oh my god. Just trying to buy time, building time for more lings, more roaches. ByuN stimming in. And there's just not much to stop him, not much to slow him down. There's no Ling Bane, just Roach Ravager. Yeah, the base is under fire. And ByuN, he might just break through. He might just break through here and now. Lings, they do come in to reinforce. They do get one of the tanks. But the Marine army is thinning out. Ah, there's too many though. Yeah, there's just too many Marines, too much bio. ByuN, he stims and he wins. He breaks through the Lings, breaks through the Roaches. And GG gets called. ByuN, he breaks YoungYakov, and ByuN takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played, YoungYakov. He was able to survive the first wave, the first push, but there were a couple of really rough moments, if you remember, losing out on those, what was it, like 8+ roaches in the center of the map. Likewise, unfortunately, did miss the rotation. He wasn't quite ready for what was coming. We saw in the production tab, not just 20 lings in production, but we had the infestor on the way as well for fungal growth. Unfortunately, that was a little bit too little too late there, as ByuN did force his way through. YoungYakov not quite as ready for that second push. Not this time. And with that, that leads us into game number 2. Leads us into game 2. Now we have our roles reversed, and now we do have ByuN playing Brood War and YoungYakov playing SE2. Oh wait, sorry, the other way. ByuN playing SE2 and YoungYakov playing Brood War. Let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Sylphid, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, leading the series 1-0. For Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is YoungYakov. We go. As a reminder, for some context, Dark is waiting for the winner of this series in the next round. Dark is waiting for either ByuN or Yakov in those finals. As we load into Sylphid, for those that maybe haven't tuned into Sylphid before, this is a 3-player spawn map. We have the northern spawn location, bottom left and bottom right, so 3 possible locations. We can see YoungYakov sending out his first overlord towards bottom right, looking for his opponent. He's looking, is searching. likewise is going to be opening up hatch gas pool. You can already see the contrast. As a reminder, what did Dark go for? He went for, what was that, like triple hatch before gas? it was hatchery, macro hatch, followed by a gas pool into another hatchery. Like, it was just crazy greed out of Dark against Gerald. I saw someone remarking like that you need macro hatcheries because of lack of queens. That is true, you do need them. That doesn't take away from how greedy Dark was. As you can see here, this is a much more standard opener out of YoungYakov. He does go for the macro hatchery, but again, this is after the gas and pool. So this is more standard. Just for comparison's sake. Meanwhile, we do see ByuN opening up with his initial 3-racks. This is going to be a 3-rack stim timing. This is a bit of a different build here, but still very much so viable in this matchup. This was very trendy and very common 1-2 years ago in TVP. Against Zerg, less common, but we do see this as a variation from 2-rack Reaper out of ByuN, but this is just straight up Mass Marine. Mass Marine into his initial move out. Into his stim timing. I believe typically ByuN's plan here is to move out without the factory, without the starport, without medevacs, to build up his Marines and go with stim. This is usually what we expect. As the Overlord does dip in, ByuN has been found. There's that tech lab for stim. Lings, they are going to be denied. That's going to be 3 Lings going down. Nice defense so far here by ByuN. And YoungYakov, he responds with an early Hydrogen. Now, on the one hand, this does hit fast, this does hit hard, but unlike the 3-racks of Brood War, this hits without medics. So there's no support. There's no medic support, there's no medevacs, of course, as you need a starport for that kind of tech. This also means that every stim counts, and every stim is going to be hurting the ByuN army. So, because of that, when it comes to the execution of this build, you have to be a lot more careful and a lot more intentional, and you have to conserve and preserve that stim whenever you can. You can't waste it. Whereas I would say you can be more wasteful with the Brood War variant. So now, we are still building up. Hydrogen is done. Ooh, we are... Was he going to try to throw down a Lurker Den? Was that what that was? Lair is on the way. We can see YoungYakov. He's actually headed towards the Lurker tech, I believe. But this feels a little bit greedy here. Right now, YoungYakov doesn't really have much of an army. Doesn't really have much of a map presence. Here comes the Marines. They get spotted. And YoungYakov, he has 0 units. Going for a ninja base? Oh my god. Drone is on patrol. Does expand towards his opponent. Does take the northern third. Hydras are amassing. Sunken Coney's on the way. That's going to be a big part of the defense. But I'll be honest, I'm not too convinced by this. We'll see. It's only 1 Sunken Coney. You can see, yeah, we're rushing into Lurker Tech. The second Hydrogen. God damn it. Rushing into Lunkers, but the Lunkers aren't ready. They just began. Marines are moving in. The colony will finish, but the colony is exposed. Yeah, he doesn't stim. Okay, we're holding. Oh god. Yakov does overextend. Getting caught out. 2 Hydras go down. But Yakov holds. Whew. Okay, Yakov, he does hold on. He does force back those Marines. And we are getting ready not just for rushing into Lurkers. We are rushing into, I believe, Overlord. Droplords? No, never mind. Was cancelled. Okay, good. Droplord tech was cancelled. But the Lunkers are coming online. Insanely quickly as well. Like, this is the army. A handful of Hydras, 1 Ling. And the Lunkers are going to be morphing in. Also, YoungYakov did take the ninja base. He does go for the ninja. There we go. 4 Lurkers morphing in. Sorry, ByuN is unaware. ByuN is in the dark. Does find the ninja base. But he doesn't know how fast the lair was. He doesn't know how quickly these Lurkers are morphing in until now. He scans. He knows. Does scan, does realize what's going on. I love that. I love the visual change to lurkers as well. I should say I appreciate that intentionally so the brutal units, even if some of them are shared, are unique. Like the Hydras, they're unique units compared to what Hydras look like visually as well. Oh, looks like there was a lag out. Game was recovered. Do see ByuN getting into the main. YoungYakov getting position. Lurkers will borrow in, but the first lurker gets targeted down. Nice big up. He gets one. Takes down one lurker. Takes down the second lurker as well. Takes down the third. Now lurkers that get picked off. Nice snipes here from ByuN. Takes down a handful of lurkers. He does scout the Queen's Nest and the Spire. Yakov trying to transition out of lurkers. Another lurker goes down. Brutal pickoffs. And YoungYakov is being pulled apart. He has nothing to defend. The base is exposed, and ByuN, he's pulling YoungYakov apart. Again, YoungYakov, he lost too many lurkers here. Now he can't defend with the bare minimum, and now he will lose the mineral line. 13 drones falling, the hatchery as well. Likewise, bottom right is also going to be going down. And I was hoping to embrace a longer game, but we're not getting there. We're not getting there. Every lurker gets picked off. Massive snipes. For those that are curious, lurkers, the brutal lurkers, I would say, are weaker than the SC2 lurkers. They're more fragile, more vulnerable. They have less range, but they're also cheaper. Like, that's also why, right? There's a reason as to why they are as the way they are. But alas, ByuN, who will break through the defensive line, takes down all the Hydras, and ByuN will snowball out of control. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take the series 2-0. Will advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. As ByuN, he will claim the series. I appreciate the build from YoungYakov, but he was cutting so many cornerstones, being so greedy, rushing into lurker tech, and initially it was okay. Initially he got away with it, but as you saw, some of the downsides of this was the lack of droning, lack of saturation, lack of economy, and because that the armor was quite small. And because the armor was so vulnerable, ByuN just took advantage of that. Took advantage of it. He sniped so many lurkers. He sniped, I want to say 6 or 7 lurkers towards the end of the game, real fast and real quick, and they never really came into play defensively. Without those lurkers, GG. GG, well played. YoungYakov, he had nothing to defend. He was torn apart, and ByuN will advance on to those finals. And now we have the grand finals here. It's going to be a best of 5 between ByuN and Dark. Let's go. Now, the last time we featured ByuN versus Dark, if you recall, that was in our best of 7 show match. We did host a farewell show match between ByuN and Dark did play random in that show match. Unfortunately for Dark, he did roll Protoss a lot, and he was very sad. He was like, I want to play something other than TVP. So it's very smooch. We'll see what luck Dark has this time, as we are getting ready for those finals. Let's go. Yeah, this is gonna be random versus Terran. And as always, what I appreciate here about this event, about the KungFu Cup, is the map pool mapping. We have island maps, plural, not just island map, but we do have Paradox, and Paradox is going to be game number 1. Let's go. We're jumping to game 1. We have yet to feature any of the island maps, but now we can jump right on in. We go. And if you haven't seen this before, well, then you're in for a treat. It's gonna be beautiful. Let's go. Oh. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Paradox, we do have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify, the SC2 Terran. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Protoss player, the red Protoss. It is Dark. And welcome one and all to Paradox. Paradox is amazing, Paradox is beautiful, and what are they saying? I'm curious, has ByuN ever played on Paradox? I don't know if he has. I don't know if he knows what he's stepping into. Hold on, I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get my Google Translate out. And yes, they're asking, is this an island map? So, yeah, ByuN asked if it was an island map, and Oh, and apparently they're discussing some history. He's saying, isn't this the map where Lim Yo-hwan played against Dojin Kwang? Typically Koreans, they refer to other pro players by their names, so I don't know who they're talking about. Like they don't say like Flash, they don't say like Jaedong, like they say like the names of the players instead. So I don't know what series they're discussing, but they're talking about like an old brutal match. So if anyone's out there, oh, actually, shout out to Hyper One there. He did clarify, Boxer versus. Oh, hold on. Boxer versus Joyo. Ah, there you go. There you go. So shout out to Hyper One for the translations. But here we go. We do have our initial island map. We have ByuN. ByuN does open up with the CC first, so CC first out of ByuN, and of course Dark going Nexus first as well. But what I should quickly get into, sorry, I was a little bit distracted by their discussion. Welcome one and all to Paradox. Now, what is Paradox? Paradox is an island map. We have one island towards the south, one island towards the north, and islands scattered in between. On your main island, you have 3 bases. You have your main and your natural right next to each other with high yield gas geysers, and you have a 3rd base off to the side with a regular Vespene gas geyser. So you have a 3-base setup. From there, then you have some other islands here. You have like these little island pocket locations that can come into play. We have seen players try to drop and try to save units here. Meanwhile, we have the bases in the center of the map. We have an island here on the right, bottom right, center left, and center left as well. So we have 2 more bases, 4 bases in total in the center of the map. We have an island here that connects them all to each other as well, where we have some high ground. We have seen a lot of siege locations with tanks, with lurkers on the high ground as well, punishing the economy. That is going to be a factor. Some of these islands are a little bit more isolated from each other as well. And typically in this matchup, we see Skytos, as you can see here from Dark, against Mass Viking. So we're expecting Mass Viking out of ByuN. We'll see if that's the case. For now, ByuN going for a 1-1-1 into add-on swap into drop play. Or maybe just Viking. We'll see. We'll see if he goes for Metamax or Vikings. Meanwhile, we have initial scouts on the way for Dark, throwing down extra Stargates into the Fleet Beacon. Now, fun fact, it was Spirit versus Shaxing. It was Spirit versus Shaxing. I want to say a month ago, where Shaxing did actually overrun Spirit with Mass Skytos. And Spirit just had a really hard time keeping up, and Spirit was just torn apart here on Paradox. We'll see how ByuN will compare as he opens up Cloak Banshee. that I was not expecting. Okay, let's go. Does stand, does get eyes on all the Stargates. We do see Mass Corsair on the way for Dark, but the reality here that I'm concerned by, and we actually saw this in the previous semifinals match, we saw ByuN, or it was in the quarterfinals, we saw ByuN go into Banshee play against Art, and remember, Art, he had no detection. That's my biggest concern here. I don't see a Forge, I don't see a Robo. Cloak Banshee can wreak havoc. The initial scout is denied. But again, you have to jump through a couple of hoops here to get into detection from the side of a Brutal Protoss. So you need a Robo, you need an Observatory, you need cannons. Otherwise, how do you answer this? How do you deal with this? You don't. Banshees are coming in. We have extra Raxes on the way. We have ByuN going into Bio, not into Mass Viking. So Banshee into Bio into drop play. Let's go. Banshee moving out. And I am concerned for Dark. I am very concerned here. As the Banshee has arrived. Yep, Probe's going to be going down. And I do think the Cloak was activated a little bit prematurely here. Just because I feel like we need to preserve Cloak. And yep, Dark, he's like, it's like, what do I do? What? Smudge, might be Smudge. We have the Robo on the way, but it's going to be so long here before he has detection. Now, Cloak is going to run out before there is detection available. That's why I wish that ByuN did preserve his Cloak. Probes are going to be going down. Yeah, Dark, he says Tesagi. And ByuN is like, yes, Tesagi. As second Banshee has arrived, probes are going down, and Dark is forced into the all-in. He's just forced to counterattack. Now, Cloak does run out. As we mentioned, Cloak was going to run out before there was detection. As we get 14 probe kills, critical damage. Now the observatory's on the way. Again, the observatory is still in production and more probes are falling. Banshee's still here at the third as well. Again, Dark is counterattacking, but alas, he only has 8 interceptors, as he does not have the carrier upgrade yet. There we go. One Banshee goes down. The other Banshee's cloak runs out. Carriers come out. The mine shots! Oh my god! Mine shots, they pop off, they force back the carriers, and ByuN defends. ByuN, he does defend. Likewise, Dark trying to catch out the drops. We'll force the unload. Chat. What are you doing, says ByuN. As Dark, he does shut down a full medevac. Nice catch. Very nice catch. So ByuN is being contained. Now we're reaching critical mass of carrier. Initially, ByuN did an amazing amount of damage here. Look at this, 20 probes went down. So ByuN does have a very nice economic lead. But ByuN is being forced back. As I say that, this is a very immobile army, and ByuN, he sneaks out. He does sneak out with a drop. Does get past. We do see Dark trying to keep up with the rotations, and Dark, he does find the drop just barely. Whew. Is aware, he's racing back home. This medevac will unload, and we do still have ByuN embracing drop play. Marines, they get into the mineral line. Corsairs that don't shoot down. We need those carriers. And ByuN, he's not stopping. He's not stopping, loading up for another drop. Has to repair. Medevac goes down. Now, the concerning thing to me here is that Dark, he will eventually recover, getting up to a 3-base economy. You can see Dark, he is now getting to his shuttle. He's going to be expanding and taking his own island base as well, and he is building up that carrier count. I will say that ByuN's bio army doesn't really scale amazingly, especially when it comes to these fights out on the map, because he's limited by whatever he can load into the medevacs. Again, ByuN, he has all these reinforcements. That's great, but none of these reinforcements are going to come into play when it comes to these fights out on the map. Like, the power of bio is the rally, right? As the rally is the reinforcements, that's going to be a non-factor, though. It is limited by the medevacs. Scan reveals the base here of Dark. ByuN, he does hug the edge of the map. Dark, he's rotating, he's trying to keep up. Does have his observers scattered throughout the map. He does find him. Yeah, he does find him. Takes out a full medevac. Yeah, medevac goes down. Another as well. Disruption web here on the bio. Let's go. Oh my god. And there it is. ByuN, he likes it, Bob. He likes it. As they're both laughing. And ByuN's in trouble. ByuN, he's in trouble here. Thankfully, he does move out with the double drop on the left-hand side. Does force a cancel. For those that are curious, what were the storms that we saw on the ground? Those are disruption webs. Think of like almost blinding cloud. I say almost. They are a little bit different compared to a blinding cloud. But that's like the closest comparison to in SE2. So here we go. We have better ones, but SE Boy wants to use this one. Copium. I think we all know that SE Boy have the better map pool. I think I think we came to that conclusion a couple of days ago. But I think Hyper One knows that as well. Kappa. As ByuN, he's building up. Moving out with another Doom Drop. Does move out throughout the left-hand side. So far, Darky's in position. I'm hoping that ByuN doesn't run blindly into the carriers. Oh, he boosted. Oh no. Oh, not like this. Full medevac goes down. He'll lose everything. He'll lose everything here. Massive loss once again. GG gets called, and Dark, despite losing 20 workers at the start of the game, ByuN, he just throws away army after army, and Dark takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he does take a lead here, and we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. And again, I feel like that also shows, I mean, we speak all the time about how ByuN doesn't really have as much experience when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. Likewise, I don't know if ByuN's ever played on Neo Isles of Siren, for example. Like, I don't know how much experience ByuN has on island maps. Going for drop play, definitely a fun way to approach it. And what I will say, as was kind of alluded to in the chat, that is the advantage of Neo Isles of Siren, is because it's a 4-player map, because it's so large, drop play is more viable. Like, whether it comes to bio drops or War Prison play as well, or even Drop Lord play from the Zerg side of things, it's more viable just because of how large it is, and also because you don't necessarily know where your opponent's coming from, because it is a 4-player spawn map. So with that, it does kind of add a little more complexity to the map itself. Here on Paradox, it is a smaller map, because that is a little bit easier to defend your island and to deflect those drops and to shut them down. So one island map is not quite like the other. But here we go, we're getting into Frostline as game number 2. Let's go. Oh, Draconics, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Papi, ¿qué tal? And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our red Terran player, our Brood War Terran now. We'll see if he can bounce back as he is down in the series. It is ByuN. Also, I would appreciate translations in the chat. As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the random player, this time landing on Terran for SC2. It is Dark. Here we go. Hold on. Let's see. Got my Google Translate here. As we are going to be settling in. And so far, Dark opening up 2 Rex Reaper. Okay, let's go. We do have our initial proxy Raxes on the way. ByuN, does open up with the initial Rax first into what looks to be a CC into delayed gases. We'll keep an eye on ByuN. The Raxes are being thrown down, and we're going proxy to Rex Reaper. We'll see if ByuN can recognize what's going on. Thankfully, ByuN is going for the SCV Scout. I have no clue how to play Terran. Let's go from Dark. I think ByuN says it's gonna be legendary. It's gonna be amazing. Let's go. Let us go. We're ready to show down. Now, of course, ByuN, he does scout. He does confirm the Rax is missing. He's aware that the Rax is nowhere to be found. Something is wrong. ByuN still goes Rax expand here, and we'll see if ByuN can keep up. Here we go. As we do have our Reapers on the way. When it comes to our defense, we do have a couple of Marines. Boys are going to have to be pulled. Oh, Dark, did he lose an SCV? Yeah, he did lose an SCV here. Feels question mark, man. Reapers are amassing. Bunker on the way on the low ground, actually. And can Dark delay the CC? I don't think he can. Yeah, won't be able to. CC is about to finish. Reapers making the way into the main. Bunker on the way for ByuN. And the Reapers are scouted. They are spotted. And we'll see if Dark can get some damage here as we have built up a decent Marine count. Oh. Marines being zoned away. They're being zoned away for the time being. Dark, he pulls away. Does pull back. Second bunker's in production. And the CC completes. I mean, that's all that ByuN needed. He can always lift. Yeah, he can just lift. He can save the CC. Contained on one base. And Dark is expanding. We're trying to work our way out of this into a longer game state. Dark's goal here is to contain for as long as he can while he catches up in the economy. But so far, these Marines, they haven't really gotten any damage. No damage yet. Mass Bio does force him back. Gets a Marine. Okay, not bad. Gets a Marine, still making more Reapers. ByuN is contained. Oh. Picking up another Marine. Nice little pickoffs here and there. I have to believe ByuN is saying, "Man, your Reaper control is cracked." Yeah. He's like, hey, it's pretty good. Doc is like, why don't Terrans do this more often? ByuN's like, we do. Oh no. All the time. They're animals, Sparky. They're animals. Factory's on the way. Again, ByuN, he will soon break out with Stim. Stim is almost complete. And then ByuN can take over his own natural. He will soon break out. Oh. Gets with the army. Gets her final major losses. There's her first Stim. Dog trying to bait out those Stims, buying time, scouting into the main base, confirms the follow-up. Or at least trying to confirm the follow-up. And likewise, ByuN also scans across the map, getting to ByuTank. Third CC, let's go! Third CC's on the way, a little bit greedy here from Dark. Again, Dark, he doesn't really have much of a main army. He's heavily reliant on these Reapers to just buy time and contain, while he takes up back at home. And it's risky, but, I mean, so far, he's pulling it off. So here we go. ByuN does push. We have Siege Mode on the way for ByuN, so both players getting to their own tank play. What we expect out of a TVT. He scans, sees the tank line. He should not push in. Second factory is on the way. We have seen ByuN before go initially from 3 Raxes into just a mech transition. I'm curious if that's going to be the case here. Thankfully, Dark is not playing mech. He is going ByuTank with extra Raxes. ByuN killing his own bunker. Unfortunately, there's no salvage. Just has to kill it himself. Feels bad, man. Yeah, third factory. Yeah. So it is going to be, as we mentioned, that switch into mech. So so we have mech from ByuN and we have Bio from Dark. ByuN looking to slow the game down. We'll see if Dark can break him, as it will take some time to get into Sim and get into all those upgrades. I think I do favor ByuN's position overall, just because he's pretty safe. Because of the opener, like these Reapers, they shouldn't really be able to achieve much here. At least they shouldn't. Tank load going off. ByuN dropping across the map. Dark, he's somewhat in position. He's a tank in the main. He has some reinforcements likewise in the main base as well. ByuN stems in. Wants those SCVs. Likewise drops into the main base. Late reaction there by Dark. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. And he's down to 3 Marines, down to 2. Looks like he should be able to hold on without losing SCVs. So it's going to be 7 SCVs going down. Nice trade here from ByuN. Likewise, he does deny the third base. Keeping Dark on 2. Not a bad start. Not a bad start here by ByuN. Especially considering that he isn't making any more Marines. Like, these are the Marines from the early game. That's what's important here. So just really efficient from ByuN as he's done with Bio and getting into mech. Scans ahead of time. Keeping Dark on his toes. Means they poke in for a second time. And eventually Dark, he's going to be able to deal with this. He will clean this up. Does force me on back. Likewise, Reapers, they do hit the third. They confirm the fault. They get eyes on all the vultures, on the Wraith, on the tanks. Dark knows. So important scout from Dark. ByuN, he's been enjoying a greater economy. Throwing down more factories. And we're going to be able to slow things down and get into the mid game. Let's go. the game will slow down. We're calming down back. I say that Dark does have a decent army that can try to go for a dive and try to break one of these positions. That is true. But he's still being kept busy here by that dropship. Has to float away. We are lacking spider mines here from ByuN, who doesn't have the best setup currently. Still holding onto a bunch of charges on those vultures. There we go, now being active. Likewise, getting into Goliath production. Dark getting into 2-2. Massing up his own marine army. As Dark moves out, he gets spotted by the racks. Oh. Does get spotted. Vultures, they dive in. Okay. So I had assumed that Dark already realized it was mech earlier when it came to his previous scouts, and he was just confirming that. He's like, wait, are you playing mech? Aye. There we go, 8 SCV kills, not bad. But yeah, it looks like Dark hadn't realized that until he saw the floating racks. And now these confirmed mech. Oh, we're going into mass BC. We have starports on the way, fusion core as well. Oh no, the game it's gonna slow down. It's gonna slow down. ByuN, he's pretty well fortified. I do see a couple of weak points here in the defenses, like towards the south side, maybe towards the north as well. Scan does reveal the starports, does reveal the fusion core. ByuN knows. ByuN, he's aware of that switch. Now, I'm assuming this is for BCs, and there we go. We have some reactors and tech labs on the way, so this could just be for a Viking Liberator. True. Doesn't have to be straight into BC production. We'll see what Dark embraces. ByuN, he's moving out. Yeah, it's going to be Liberators. Okay, go. So it's going to be Liberator range alongside Lib production. Then he stims in. Sorry, Dark stims in. ByuN does siege. And Dark does get on top of the tanks. Oh my god, he does not. Massive tank blow is going up. The bio army crumbles. And Dark, he will lose everything here. I mean, he stimmed into pre-siege tanks back. Or they were sieging up in time. ByuN's like, mate. No, Dark's like, mate, tanks are broken. Aye. Respect the tank line, papi. Respect the tank line. Marines aren't that good. ByuN saying he thought he was going to lose the fight. No shot. No shot. Este ByuN. Yeah, ByuN moving out. He's like, your confidence scared me. I mean, it scared me too, but for other reasons. So we go, ByuN moving in. Takes down the tank line. Yeah, 2 tanks going down, and Dark is just trying to keep up. Does have the Liberators though. Liberation has arrived. But that's what the Goliaths are for. Yeah, they take down the Libs one after the other. Goliaths, they're pretty good. They focus down the Libs. Getting on top of the planetary, and Dark is in trouble. Dark trying to drop in. Goliaths to shut down one of the medevacs. Massive pickup. He gets one, he gets both. Both medevacs go down. And Dark, he cannot keep up. He cannot keep up, not anymore. Again, the Goliath is just such a good answer to the drop plates, to the Liberators as well. One Liberator stands. Oh, planetary goes down. The Liberator is going to fall as well. Who needs Vikings when you have Goliaths? As ByuN breaks down the expansion, we have more libs coming in. I mean, at that point, that is going to be a bit too much. ByuN has to back off, has to respect the Liberators. Pulls away, he rotates. Building up just mass Goliath. We got a couple of Wraiths on the way as well, just for that anti-air. And Dark is getting caught out. It's just a really awkward angle here. Dark with the panic siege. Let's go. Starts with the panic siege. ByuN rotates. Yo, shout out to Bonecool in the chat. God, baby God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 7 months. Do appreciate it. Yay, more StarCraft. Exactly. Oh, the StarCraft. As Dark, he's attempting to stabilize. Again, he's set up here in the center of the map. Jesus, how many libs? 7. 7 Liberators. Another CC goes down. Dark, he attempts to counterattack. Lassie gets spotted. ByuN keeping up. Ooh, we'll throw away all those vultures. Not just barely any spider mines. ByuN panicking. We'll lose the vultures. Liberators moving in. Our Wraiths have arrived though. Oof, the Wraiths do help, but oh my god, Liberation, they shut down the tanks. The tanks are free. Did we get shut down? They can ByuN at least Dark forcing ByuN to be more defensive, forcing him back home. This feels quite committed from Dark. Remember, Dark, he lost the 4th. He lost the 4th base. He was denied the northern 4th base as well. Dark is all in. It's all or nothing for the StarCraft 2 Terran. Oh god, in the race, they focus on those Liberators. One after the other. Nice snipes. Oh my god. Down to 1 Liberator. And without Liberators, I mean, Dark, he has nothing left. He has nothing left. Goliath, they break through. And Medevacs get hunted down. Tanks as well. Who needs anything but Goliath, Bappy? They're crazy. They're cracked. They shoot up and they shoot down. Oof. I love seeing these Wraiths tickle the Marauders to death. Like it's they got it. Did get it in the end. And with that, Dark, he has almost nothing. He's just rallying into his death. And GG gets called. There's nothing remaining, and ByuN, he will tap the series 1-1. We have it back and forth. We have a series. GG. GG, well played. We do have a back and forth. Again, Dark definitely had his own moments in that game, but I feel like a lot of it did come down to the first fight, where Dark did have the supply lead, but he did stim into a wall of tanks. He stimmed into a wall of tanks, the tanks siege, and the Bio army crumbled. Dark just misjudging kind of the strength of that army and the strength of those tanks and just that dive in general. With that, Dark, he lost his forces, he lost momentum, and with that, ByuN snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into game number 3, a game that I'm very excited for. We're going to be loading into Amygdala, and game 3 we're going to be featuring Brood War versus Brood War. This is a rare sight indeed. But this is something that is unique to the format for KungFu Cup, and we'll see what Dark lands on. Let's go, as we're getting to our best of 5 and spawning in the right hand corner. We have the Brood War Terran player, the South Korean Terran. Oh, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the random player, but he does land, oh my god, hyper aggressive by the way. We have the random player, he does land on Zerg. Dark, what's he saying? Dark, he's asking ByuN what build to use, I think. Oh my god, as we go for the proxy. But here we go, we have the brutal Zerg player going gas first. It is Dark. Bearing in mind, Dark is random and ByuN is unaware of what race he landed on. As here we go, we have the Rax's Overlord is scouted, they do spot each other. ByuN, he is now aware of the race of Dark. committing here to a proxy 4x. Oh my god, we're cheesing it up. I was hoping for a longer game here, but no, we are cheesing it up. It's gonna be proxy 4x here out of ByuN. Meanwhile, Dark did open gas first. We has early link production. There we go, link speed is on the way. Link production has begun. And who do we favor? I want to lean towards Dark just because of his more aggressive build. Might be able to catch out and get on top of the production. We'll see. As so far, Dark, he is not scattered. He's unaware. Shout out to Turbo Quacker. God, baby God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Turbo Quacker in the chat for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you so much. Do appreciate the support. Do appreciate all the love in the chat. As links have arrived, they're going for the SCVs. They do confirm. There's a question mark. It's like, mate, what are you doing? First SCV goes down. Can he deny any of these Raxes though? Yeah, Raxes are finishing, but the first Marine goes down as well. Yeah, and he just shuts us down completely. Again, this is a hard counter. Dark already opened up gas first, and ByuN happened to be going proxy. And with that, the Raxes will not finish, and that's gonna be game. that's gonna be game then and there. GG gets called, and Dark will take a lead in the series. Oh no, I was trying to scroll up. Actually, so I'm just trying to see what was said towards the end. Okay. I think it was ByuN was asking how he found him, and Dark said that he saw the red dot on the minimap. Aha. GG, well played. I think he's referring to the SCV because Dark did see the SCV with his Overlord. But yeah, with that, GG, well played. With that, Dark does take a lead in the series, and we'll see where this takes us. We'll see if ByuN can force the ace match as the pressure is on ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. Yeah, thank you so much, Turbo Quacker. Gifted sub to Tenice. Let's go, Tenice. To Sataiko, Serenity, RC Palma, and Rex. Oh, and to Rex as well. Let's go. Thank you so much. As we are getting into our next game. Oh, God. There's so much chat between the players. I'm just trying to keep up. Oh, okay. He's asking. This looks like the second map, which is, I guess, kind of true. But here we go, spawning in the right-hand corner, or the top corner, the top side of Stilfit, a 3-player spawn map. We do have our South Korean Terran player, the SE2 Terran. It is ByuN. It's currently down in the series and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the StarCraft 2 Zerg player going pool first. From South Korea, it is Dark. I think they're talking about the maps. They're speaking on the maps themselves, but this is also another big moment that I'm excited for. Welcome to a 3-player spawn map, and welcome to SE2 versus SE2 on an old Brood War map. This led to some really exciting games previously. I want to say for the previous KungFu Cup, it was Spirit versus Classic on, I almost said Blue Storm. It was Spirit versus Classic on Return of the King when it came to the SE2 races. But here we have SE2 on Stilfit instead. As here we go, we did have our initial gas opener. Dark is going for a roach all in. He's going for a roach all in. Meanwhile, ByuN is opening up 3 racks. I like how they're both being hyper aggressive. Yeah, I think they're talking about the potential spawn locations. I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, ByuN, he's asking if this is a 3-player spawn map, and Dark, he said 4 players. God damn it. But Dark, he sees everything. I mean, well, he's about to. He does see at least a location of ByuN. ByuN, he doesn't SCV scout. No SCV scout here. Sorry, ByuN, he has no idea where his opponent is. Not yet. And Dark, he does spot the initial Marine. It's going to be Marines first. We have the safety bunker on the way. So ByuN playing it safe. Dark, he confirms this. Roaches are amassing. And we'll see if Dark can break through. See if he can break through. More roaches on the way. The bunker will finish. Will ByuN be able to repair in time? Bearing in mind that I believe this should be a Ravager Ling all-in. There's no speed, bear that in mind, so there's no speed Lings, but we can morph in those Ravagers. So there we go, the bunker is now done. First Ravager's on the way. We have the initial depot as well, in front of said bunker, looking to wall up. The Bio army is amassing. And do we get any more Ravagers here? So far, just the one. Just one Ravager. Roaches are revealed. Now ByuN knows. Remember, ByuN, he didn't scout. He did not scout. Oh. Stark say. Dark is saying, what kind of bunker is this? Oh no. I mean, the bunker's done in time. Biles, they will somewhat connect. But nice repair so far. Yeah, the bunker does survive. SCV is being targeted down. Biles, they once again zone the army away, and the bunker should fall. But again, it bought so much time. There are so many Marines. ByuN's holding. Yeah, ByuN holds on. He shuts down the army. Marauder has arrived, and we are looking to force that ace match as we clean up every single Roach, every single Ravager. GG gets called. ByuN, he will survive this, and we are going to game 5. GG. Whew. Again, it was a blind 3-max build by ByuN, so he had an abundance of Marines. He had more Marines than you would typically expect, as usually there would be Marine Hellion, not Mass Marine. Likewise, safety bunker as well, because ByuN did skip the Reaper, and that's what ByuN was, what Dark was referring to. It's like, why is there just a random bunker here? I mean, it's gonna shut me down because of that. Like, GG. So again, kind of like a blind defense there by ByuN. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. We're going to the ace match here. And we'll see how this story ends. Will it go the way of Dark or ByuN? As I believe they've both chosen Brood War. So once again, Brood War versus Brood War in the top left-hand corner. We do have the South Korean Terran player, the Brood War Terran, representing Shopify, tying up the series. It is ByuN. We have diagonal spawns. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the random player, and he lands on Protoss. So the Brood War Protoss from South Korea, it is Dark. Oh. I think they're talking about builds. Hold on. I'm struggling on this one. They're talking too much. Oh god. Okay, Dark. I think he's saying that this is a Terran map, and he tried a certain tank build. I think they're referring to just builds on Return of the King. I think I would kind of agree though. Oh, yeah. I think Dark is talking about his game against Gerald, where he played mech. No. Not like this. Not like this. We did feature that earlier in the semifinals. Dark saying that he's afraid he's going to lose. For now, we do have our openers. Bearing in mind that, as a reminder, Dark, he is random, and because that ByuN doesn't know what he's playing, ByuN has no idea what he's up against. He's going to be playing blind. For now, double gas opener, double gas into a faster factory, delayed CC by ByuN, so ByuN playing it safe. As a reminder, this is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in any corner of said map. Any corner of Return of the King. Are settling in. Ooh, and it is going to be mech out of Jesus. Okay, this is going to be mech out of ByuN. He's going for an early vulture timing. This should be with ion thrusters and spider mines. We have seen this build before. I want to say the last time we saw this out of ByuN, it was on Holy Worlds, question mark. But again, yeah, double machine shop here into double upgrades into the mass vulture early on. So very aggressive start here by ByuN. Bearing in mind, ByuN has no idea what he's up against. Not yet. Likewise, Dark is moving out with his own probe scout. To have our initial Dragoon opener. Mentioned before, but we do expect Dragoon into Reaver, but we have yet to actually see that here tonight. We've seen attempted Storm play. There's that ion thrusters upgrade into spider mines into those vultures. So ByuN is being hyper aggressive. We can see Darky's scouts top right. He does not find ByuN yet. He is searching. Likewise, ByuN floats over his racks like an overlord. He's checking bottom left, and Marines will check the right hand side, and he will find the probe. He now knows. Yeah, there we go. He now is aware that Dark is Protoss. Yeah, Dark, he's saying, hey, I'm random, don't look for me. And ByuN's like, you're a tryhard. Oh no. ByuN is saying, I'm on my way. So ByuN checks top right, now he moves towards bottom left. Dark is like, you're cheating, why are you scouting me? Get out, get away. Here we go. Vultures are moving forward, Spider-Mine is ready. And he can try to knock down this front door. Ideally, you want to throw down the spider mines here in the face of the Dragoons to force them out, to force them back, to break that defensive line. Yeah, as Vultures actually get past the Dragoons, going for the ramp. Oh, spider mines do burrow. Oh, they do connect. Yeah, they shut down one Dragoon so far. Second Dragoon as well. They get into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. More spider mines, and Dark is being zoned away. He has to just tank the shots. Another Dragoon goes down. So far, getting up to 9 probe kills. Did I say 9? Getting up to 13. Oh my god. 13, 15 workers going down. Likewise, more probes falling here at the natural. And more spider mines are set. Ideally, ByuN wants to force the Dragoons into the spider mines. Speaking of, another connection. And more spider mines do connect. ByuN still rallying in. 20 probe kills already. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. Takes down another Dragoon. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, what's that? Darky just says no. Okay. Leave me alone. As 2 more Dragoons go down. And this is game-ending damage. This is game-ending. Back across the map, ByuN is getting his natural up and running, getting it saturated. Once again goes into the mineral line. Once again going for another Dragoon. Throws down more spider mines. Oof, takes down another. And ByuN pulls back. He finally is forced back. Behind this, getting into his own tank production. Siege mode is on the way. Extra factories as well. And Dark, he has some catching up to do. So Dark says Dragoons are so stupid, and ByuN's like, they're smart. God damn it. Alright, what's this last line? Dark saying, mines, they seem smarter. Oh no. God damn. You say, maybe because it's StarCraft 2, I can't catch the mines. But yeah, with that, I mean, it is a thing where you can try to shut down the spider mines before they connect, but it is quite difficult to pull off. Speaking of, oof, that does pull it off this time. Also, can't tell if Wooden Mines or Spider Mines are more annoying. I mean, they have their own, they're very different, right? They're very different units. For Spider Mines, they're easier to bait out because you can just send out a probe, but Workers don't trigger Spider Mines, so you can't do that. Oh, you have to target them down instead. As the Observer has arrived. Oh. Yeah, so here we go. The tanks have arrived. Remember, siege mode is done, and ByuN is going in for the kill. He does catch out the Dragoons. Massive spider mines on top of the army. Oh, the connections. Yeah, they do connect. Dragoons force back. Tanks do siege, and Dark, he has no answer. He has no answer. He has no charge. He has no zealot legs behind this. Yeah, he's just being forced further and further back. And GG will be called. ByuN, he will snowball out of control. He will take the series, and ByuN is going to be this week's Kung Fu Cup champion. GG. GG. Hold on, I want to see they're so talkative. Hold on. Trying to see what they said. Oh, nice. I think ByuN, he was talking about ASL question mark. I know he said he couldn't get through. He couldn't get through the Star League preliminaries. Ah. Dark saying, manners please, GG. GG, well played regardless. Congratulations here to ByuN, as ByuN will claim the series. He will advance on as our champion. Shout out to Dark for making it this far. And again, Dark, he does play this a little bit more for fun. As you mentioned before, we did host a farewell show match for Dark. That was last weekend, or I guess now 2 weekends ago. And Dark, he is playing more for fun nowadays. Like, his main race is Zerg, and he's quite strong with Zerg. But now that he's, you know, kind of nearing the end of his current competitive run, he's enjoying time playing random, and again just enjoying playing some of the other races that he's maybe not too familiar with. He even said it himself, like in the TVT, where he's like, he doesn't even know what build to do in TVT. He was just kind of like throwing kind of whatever he could at the wall to see what stuck, and hey, he made it to the ace match even in doing that as well. So impressive, very impressive stuff there, very impressive play. Regardless, GG, well played. Shout out to ByuN for becoming our champion, and a shout out to Dark, of course, for making it to second place. This also does give us the opportunity here to catch up on the brackets and to have a look at what was going on. Okay, KungFu Cup, StarCraft Evolution number 5. Okay, here we go. As we'll switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself, to catch up on those matches. Here we go. Hold on, I got you covered. Bam. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, we have our bracket here. We did have, of course, Dark playing random, as we did point out. Did play random throughout. Did take down Bratok, did take down Gerald to make it to the finals. We saw Rotterdam was playing. Okay, Rotterdam played. Not expecting that, but I do know that Roddy, he was covering this event live at the time. So Rotterdam, he actually did partake in StarCraft Evolution. Interesting. Did meet his end at the hands of YoungYakov, but really cool to see him taking part. We had Koroi Humor as well. Weren't quite able to feature him earlier. And of course, in the end, ByuN did take it a back and forth in those grand finals. Could have gone either way. Very RNG heavy is what I will say, based on how they were playing, and of course based on how Dark was approaching this with a random race as well. But regardless, GG well played. Congratulations here to ByuN. Congratulations. And I look forward to the next KungFu Cup. This week's KungFu Cup was Warcraft 3 Evolution. I believe next week is going to be StarCraft Evolution once again. So we're just catching up on some of these tournaments that we missed out on. For those that are curious, one of the reasons why we aren't casting these events live is because at the time we were casting the Rex March Madness. We were covering the Rex March Madness instead, so that was actually overlapping with the KungFu Cups, so we did prioritize the March Madness instead. But soon we'll be able to catch up and potentially even cover some of these events live instead, as they occur at a more Korean friendly time. More Korean and European friendly. Otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG will play. Just catching up in the chat. Just catching. The Ducks support the community. The least I can do is show the same type of love. Oh, thank you, Turbo Quacker. Do appreciate it. I mean, Turbo Quacker, for those who don't know, Turbo Quacker, he's a very long time supporter of the channel, or long time viewer. Did go on a hiatus for a while, but Turbo Quacker alongside Yoda Slim back in the day, that was back in like back in the COVID era of StarCraft, back in 2020, more of the early years of the CranKy Ducklings, and yeah, still around even now. So big shout to Turbo Quacker. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Este Turbo Quacker. I can say that Widowmines are more annoying. I mean, there's a give and take. There's a give and take there. But regardless, GG well played. And that is not the end of the broadcast. We do have something else coming up. I will need a moment to set things up on my end, but we did have a replay redeemed earlier. Oh, let's go. Babylings did redeem a replay, so we do have some time to go over a bit of a viewer replay cast. So this will be not StarCraft Evolution, but StarCraft 2. So we got you covered there. If you're only interested in pro gameplay there or in these big tournaments, then our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Bam, we have our weekly schedule here and now. We just wrapped up with our Friday cast, and we're going to be live tomorrow with the KSL, with the Korean StarCraft League. So if you want to tune into some more Korean action, players like Solar, Shin, ByuN, Cure, all competing in StarCraft 2, then we got you covered there with the KSL. We also have Sea Duckling Open in the evening. We have Hatchery Cup Sunday morning. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup Sunday evening as well. These are all StarCraft 2 events. I know we've been covering quite a bit of StarCraft Evolution over the past couple of days, but we do mainly cover StarCraft 2 here on the channel. So our weekend is going to be very busy with all the casting, with all the content, with all the StarCraft. If you are looking for some more StarCraft Evolution, then do check out the VODs over on YouTube. !socials in the chat. At the top there of the socials link, we do have the YouTube channel. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of content on YouTube, plenty of content to come. When it comes to our next StarCraft Evolution live cast, let me just quickly double check. I believe that's going to be over the weekend. That's going to be on Monday. There we go. So Monday, we're going to be covering the StarCraft Evolution League number 9. That's going to be a replay cast. I believe the SCL this week is going to be overlapping with the rest of our casts. I believe it's overlapping with Sea Duckling Open and with Hatchery Cup. So we won't be able to cast it live, but we'll go over it via replays on Monday at around this time. Earlier, I should say. So at around this time on Monday, we're going to be live with some more StarCraft Evolution. Likewise, we're going to be covering a show match as well on the 8th of December, and also some more SCL over the weekend of the 12th. So there's a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft on the horizon. The HSL playoffs are also next weekend on the 12th and 13th of April. We have Code for Giants Cup. We have more Tenacious Total Tussle as well. Plenty of content on the channel. If you want to support us, you can also do so via Patreon. !Patreon in the chat, and you can see our Patreon page and our Patreon goal currently under the graphic. That is how much money we do earn via Patreon monthly, and 100% of that money goes towards the players. It all goes towards prize pools and all towards our tournaments. All that money goes towards Sea Duckling Open, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Masters 1 Open as well. It all goes back towards the players. So if you want to support the scene, if you want to support the Ducklings and support the StarCraft player base, you can do so via Patreon if you wish. What I will say is that after this goal, our plan for the next goal is to help pay out the casters and the admins for our tournaments. So that'll be a future goal after we reach the current one. The current one is to boost the prize pool. The current goal is still to boost the prize pool for the players and for the tournaments. But after that, eventually we'll be able to pay admins and casters. It'll be crazy. Oh my god, we're not there yet, but you know, eventually one day, baby, one day. Otherwise, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have a brief viewer replay cast. See you guys after the break. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Let's go. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different, something special. We just wrapped up with the KungFu Cup StarCraft Evolution StarCraft Evolution number 5 broadcast, and now we are here. We are back with a Duckling viewer replay cast. For those that are curious, for those that are unaware, we do actually allow viewers to submit replays via Discord. Not just via Discord, but also there is a point redemption. So with your points in the chat, you can redeem a viewer replay cast. I believe it's 10k, I believe it's 10,000 points, and we will cast a replay of your choosing. And we do have one ready here for us. Again, the broadcast was a little bit shorter here today, so we have time to go over a ladder game. Let's go. Shout out to ByuN. ByuN did end up having a game here, a ZVP between herself and KungFu, and I'm ready. I'm excited, maybe a little bit nervous, maybe concerned. Usually whenever we get viewer replays, it's for a reason. What I mean by that, I'm still scarred by, like, I don't know, like Frost like submitting like hour-long TVZs with like Mech versus Lurker, or even Este Hyper One in the chat redeeming the Jungle Maze games, which are like an hour and a half long. Like, so I'm a little bit scarred, but I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's jump in. Let's jump into our ZVP. Or even I think Hyper One submitted the Bratok versus Quanta match, which is also like over an hour long. But we are jumping into our fresh best of one, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of lane lines, we have our red Zerg player, our viewer in the chat. It is ByuN, aka HYZ, and spawning in the right hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. We have KungFu. KungFu. God damn it. I'm shaking my head. We are going to be loading into ley lines here. One of the more standard maps in the map pool. It isn't one of the more extremes. I'm referring to like Neo-Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, King's Cove. Likewise, it's not one of the smaller maps like El Dorado or Whispers of Gold. This is a more around the middle of the road here instead, and we'll see how our players do approach this. Likewise, so far, so standard. We do have our initial hatch opener here from our Zerg player. Likewise, we have our gate scout out of KungFu, trying to get a read on what's going on, trying to make sure that there is no crazy early gas or early pool or early shenanigans. Let us go. Ooh. And again, I know that ByuN is very much so a grinder when it comes to the ladder, when it comes to improving, when it comes to playing StarCraft as well, playing StarCraft. Quite envious. I also want to play every now and then. But we'll see how we approach this. In general, when it comes to ZVP, when it comes to early game aggression, it has become a little bit more difficult over time to actually become more aggressive, you know, especially with the latest patch, with the latest changes to the energy overcharge. We have seen aggression subside, especially in the early game, but we'll see how our players do approach this. We do typically expect something like a Stargate opener into Twilight Council, into +1 and Blink, but especially on the ladder, there are a lot of animals out there. There's a lot of, I don't have to tell you, Pappy, but you know, the ladder can and is full of animals, and as a result, we can see some more quirky builds at times. So scouting is going to be paramount as to what's going on. Overlord dips in. So far, everything is looking normal. Everything's looking standard. Likewise, back at home, droning up, massing up queens. And our pylon has in place for our initial tech of choice. Speaking of Stargate, so Stargate opener out of our Protoss. So far, so good. We're expecting Oracle or Void Ray. We'll see how KungFu will approach this. From here, Void Ray opener would be more designed to hide tech and to try to deny vision and deny scouting. Oracle more macro base to get across the map and get scouting, get some economic damage, and allow for a third base to be taken. So far, ByuN does move in position, does get in position to scout to get eyes on that third. So far, so good. Likewise, tries to avoid the Adept. The Overlord does get vision on this, does see Adept moving in, and Lings do back off. So nice movement so far here from ByuN. Meanwhile, KungFu is in position, has that Adept, and of course the Overlord does confirm this. Overlord is aware, as the Oracle is on the way. Likewise, third base being taken is going to be on Babelings to keep up with the initial adept, to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. Well, one adept shouldn't get much done. Yeah, Queens do respond. Likewise, Oracle moves out. Overlord and the Lings do spot this. Queens are getting in position. And the Overlord will also confirm if any additional units are made. Getting into the main. Still no third base on the way. And the Queens are ready. Yeah, the Queens are in position. They will zone. Likewise, we have our soon-to-be 2 Queens in the main. Third base is being taken. We do have the linear third base instead. A little bit more of an awkward position here for our Protoss. But it's going to be taken. Lings, they go for the surround. Nice catch. Yeah, very nice catch. Adept is going to fall. The pylon as well. Where's that second Oracle? There is no second Oracle. Going for a Void Ray, going into a Fleet Beacon. Ay, ay, ay. And this is where the punish comes in. This is also why it's very common and very standard for a Protoss player to open up double, if not triple Oracle. You can see already here the strength of the Oracle is not just aggressively, but defensively as well. Without that Oracle, Adept goes down, Pylon goes down. Checking the vision here of Babelings. Did not get eyes on the Fleet Beacon yet, so still is a little bit unawares as to what's going on, but overall did punish. And you can also think to yourself, hold on, where is that second Oracle? Like, what is going on here? Either earlier, faster attack, or potentially Void Ray, or something else is going on. So the Overlord is coming in for a second scout. Oh, meanwhile, the Void Ray is out of position. The Void Ray does hunt down the Overlord outside of the natural, but not the scouting Overlord. So KungFu does miss the Overlord. With that, Babelings will confirm the Fleet Beacon and the Sky Toss. So nice scouting here from Babelings. Back at home, saturating the third base. Third base saturated. We have +1 range on the way. Lair is still halfway done, so we're getting into Lair tech. From here, we can go into Queen Corruptor, or we can go into a Hydra timing. Considering +1 range is on the way, and assuming that we're not going to cancel it, then Hydras will make some sense here for a bit of a +1 timing. We'll see what we go for. Gases are being taken. And we are rushing into a mothership. Okay, no second Stargate. That is a bit of a tell that we did have another Void Ray popping out instead. But it is not uncommon to go mothership into ground toss. But we would often see a Twilight Council by now as well. Oh my god, what is this? Bit of a missed rally here. I was about to say the KungFu is undersaturated, rallying into the main base, going mothership into Tempest. Interesting start out of KungFu. And there we go. There's the ground toss going into a Forge and going into a Twilight Council. So this is a fake out. This is a build. I mean, this build not exactly, but this the more efficient version of this build was popularized by Classic a couple of years ago in GSL. I want to say November of 2023 GSL. While doing Classic, basically it was in the era of, oh god, what was the name of the map? Jesus. The map with the gold bases in the middle, in the previous map pool. God, I've just like deleted the name of the map from my mind. I just got out of that map pool and never looked back. Void Rays poke in, they're gonna be sent away. But basically the idea here is to force an overreaction. You do start off, you reveal the Tempest early on, you force out Aspire, you force out Corruptors, and then bam, you show up with Charge instead. Meanwhile, Void Rays poke in, Tempest is revealed. So far the Queens are holding their own, but the first Queen is not going to go down, as the fourth is under fire, and Babelings instead just going for a massive counterattack, just ignores the Sky Toss. Just going to be pushing instead. Back at home, what do we have? We have the Mothership to defend, the Stasis does get baited by the Ling. Charge is still in the way, KungFu is not ready, the gateways aren't set up yet. Yeah, the gateways are late for the Protoss, so there is no ground toss. Roaches, they just bust their way in. Spire is on the way for those Corruptors. And Babelings does make her way into the main base, into the natural as well, before any kind of army. And oh, the probes are still back. God damn it. The probes have still just been chilling here the entire time. Aye, aye, aye. As the mineral line is going to be going down, Roaches, they bust into the main base, they head towards the third as well. There's that cloak that will buy some time, and again, the gateways will eventually complete, but this is game-ending damage here. As KungFu is stuck on a one-base economy. Oh, the probes, though! The misrallied probes, they're being shut down. They were just slowly building up over the course of the game. They will fall. Eventually the Skytos army will clean this up, but that's what the Spire is going to be for. The Spire is about to finish. Getting ready for those Corruptors. +1 did kick in. And KungFu does actually preserve a decent amount of workers here at that third base, so can now resaturate, but has, what, half the worker count, half the economy of Babylings. And again, even though the gateway's finished, they're not powered. The gateway's not powered, +1 is denied massive pickoffs here in the main. This will cause a massive delay. I mean, KungFu doesn't have the best economy to begin with, but cannot spend their money, cannot reinforce. Corruptor production has begun. And the Void Rays, they can do well supporting this army against Corruptors, but it's only 2 Void Rays. They've already taken some hull damage as well. The 4th base did go down, which is nice, but not enough. As KungFu is all in. KungFu is all in, and of course time is on Babyling's side. Bringing together the Queens, the Roaches, the Corruptors. The ground army is a little bit lacking for Babylings, but also lacking for KungFu as well. It's mainly the Tempest that are the threats, the Tempest and the Mothership, and Corruptors will shut this down. They will completely shut this down. Yeah, Void Rays, they fall one after the other, going for the Mothership, slow zone, a good slow zone here on the army, but it's only buying a couple of seconds as the Mothership does crumble. And again, it was a cheeky build here by KungFu. The execution was a little bit lacking. I mean, we're still rallied. Wait, hold on, what's the rally here? What's happening? it's this rally. The 3rd Nexus is rallied into the main, I think. I know, we're rallied all over the place. Regardless, Corruptors move in, they hunt down another Tempest. Now it's just a ground-based army here for the Protoss. It's time to pee. God. What are we going for? From here, we can go for the Stargates, we can go for the Tech, we can go for the Nexus. It's time to unleash. Oh, no. Behind this is just going to be focusing on the ground army as well. Lings, Roaches, Ravagers. At this point, Corruptors, they've done their job. They don't quite wreak havoc in the main. Not yet. Just building up. There we go. Now we head in. Going for the Nexus. Once again, just pulling KungFu apart. Blink is not done. The Stalker's out of position. They cannot respond in time. The base goes down. And Babylings does hit the 3rd. Once again, Stalkers, they're nowhere to be found. They were stuck at the natural. And what little economy that KungFu had left, it's not really there anymore. All the probes go down. Stuck on a 1 base economy. From your Babylings can max. Going for another Nexus. Going for the final expansion. Again, there's only 1 Nexus. Oh, I guess there's the 3rd as well. We're going for the natural. There's just not enough Stalkers. Again, Blink is still not done, by the way. Stalkers perk in. The Babylings has that ground army. How many Roaches? 33! 33 Roaches, a handful of Lings. Keeping up with the Stalkers, Nexus goes down, GG gets called, and Babylings HYZ will take the series, will take down KungFu on the ladder. GG. GG. We get a really nice response here from Babylings when it comes to confirming the sky. I mean, I say nice response. Initially, really good scouting. The scouting did confirm the opener, did confirm the follow-up as well. As you mentioned, there was a bit of a sign that something was wrong when there was no 2nd Oracle. That was like the first big sign. There was no 2nd Oracle, which means either a faster Twilight Council or Void Rays or some other hidden tech was being thrown down. So upon recognizing that, upon getting some damage done early on, the Overlord did go back into the main base for a rescout, did confirm the Fleet Beacon, did confirm the Sky Toss. We saw that KungFu did hunt down an Overlord, but if you remember, the first Void Ray went for the Overlord at the natural, didn't go for the Overlord behind the main base, so didn't quite deny the scout. With that, the response was to just send it across the map. It was actually a delayed Spire, if you recall. Babylings was relying on her early Queen production to defend while going for a massive Roach counterattack instead. I would say it was a risky maneuver, but a maneuver that did pay off. If you remember, the gateways were late for KungFu. It was a late gateway transition, late ground transition out of KungFu. That was the plan initially, but it was delayed, and we saw the massive Roach breaking through. Part of that delay may have also been the misrally. If you remember, KungFu, he misrouted his probes in the main base. I don't know what was going on in the main, but there was just like a massive pile of probes that was just piling up behind the mineral line. So an unfortunate misrally there, but it did delay everything, and it meant that the roaches were uncontested. Critical damage done early on, and from there, ByuN just had to make sure that there was plenty of anti-air. There were plenty of corruptors. GG. GG, well played. A very nice response, very nicely done. Whew. And, oh wait, just send it, Pappy, just send it. Let's go. GG. Catching on. Hi to early macro. Yes, yes. Solid early game. But with that, that is our one and only viewer replay here for the day. Again, we do host viewer replays whenever, viewer replay casts whenever we can. Whenever a couple of replays pile up, we're able to jump into them. For now, we're caught up, and yeah, we might feature some viewer replays next time. Next time, another day, another broadcast. Otherwise, thank you so much. Otherwise, thanks so much. Again, shout out to ByuN in the chat for posting said replay. And again, if you're out there, if you're in the chat, if you want us to cover your replays, then we are more than happy to. You can do so via Discord and also through the Twitch chat as well by redeeming that replay. So you can do so. You can do so if you wish. We try not to be too harsh when it comes to our viewer replays. More here to just chill and to embrace and enjoy the chaos that sometimes ensues. Este Hyper One. Este. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, with that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the day. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Is going to be the Korean StarCraft League, the KSL. So do tune into that tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. Analyze my reaction. Este Cristiano Ronaldo, papi. Ay, papi, ¿a dónde estás? ¿A dónde estabas para HSL, para la Hispanic Star League? Este Cristiano. Ga, papi, ga. Me cuentan que ahora estás jugando que Team Games 4v4. Lo más 4v4, papi. Este Cristiano. Good to see you, good to see you. Less than 3. El mismísimo, papi. El mismísimo. El Cristiano. God damn it. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Did Cristiano redeem a replay? No shot. I'm working. I hate being an adult. Ah, smudge. Bad smudge. Fair enough, fair enough. I know. Fair enough. For those who don't know, Cristiano in the chat, he is a Chilean Protoss player. Best Protoss in all of Chile. True. Best Protoss. But I look forward to seeing you again one day. I know you're playing a lot of team games nowadays. A lot of team games. Maybe a future HSL. Maybe. Good to see you. Como siempre, papi. Good to see you. But with that, we're wrapping up here for the day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, if you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, we have our weekly schedule before you. We have KSL tomorrow, and we have Sea Duckling Open tomorrow as well. So plenty of content throughout the weekend. You can see our schedule before you. We have Hatchery Cup on Sunday and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. Good to see you doing well, papi. Keep it up. Gracias. Feels good, man. Feels good. But yeah, we have plenty of content throughout the week, so we'll see you guys over the weekend for some more StarCraft. I'm gonna go and smoke on the ladder, papi. If you're curious, I do stream whenever I can, and we do have a free evening tonight, so I'm gonna be heading over to my own personal channel, so if you want to tune in there, you can. Don't expect too much. I'm very rusty. I barely get any time to play StarCraft and to ladder, like Cristiano as well. Busy casting, busy covering StarCraft, not as much time to play StarCraft, so I don't get to play too much anymore. I do enjoy it, I do like it, I do like the smudge, but yeah, I don't get to ladder too often, so we're gonna be heading over. Are you from Australia? Yes, from Australia, from Sydney, and from Australia. But yeah, if you want to tune in, I do stream over on my own personal channel. I'm going to be rating the channel and heading on over, so you can tune in there. Otherwise, if you want to tune into only pro play, then we got you covered tomorrow. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys there. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego. Let's go.